what it do?
Ahoy!
What's up? Good Tuesday.
You character.
What are we doing? What does that mean?
Well, I'm the old man. That's like one of the most old men thing you can call someone.
You're a character.
He's
such a character.
You character. It's right up there being called a rascal. You two rascals. Bunch of characters over there. It always gets me.
Well, you are a character.
That guy just played like the grumpy old man in every movie. He was that from Top Gun. He was Principal Strickland in Back to the Future. Man made a career out of basically being Dean Bitterman.
That'd be a cool job.
Yeah. There's a handful of those guys.
Principal what?
He was Principal Strickland, I believe, was in Back to the Future. And I forget his name in Top Gun, but he was like the original air boss in Top Gun.
That guy.
That guy.
Yeah.
He was in like every 80s movie, and he was always like a bitter principal or police detective or whatever. You know, he would like drag a detective in and yell about his screwball antics. That's another one. Your screwball antics. I've had enough of it.
That's James Tolkien.
James Tolkien.
And he is still with us.
Is he still?
Yes.
He's got to be like, what, 80, 90?
He is 94.
Oh, my God. He's still alive?
Looks terrible.
He looked terrible in 1984. He's still hanging around. Now, that's an upset that he's still around. Yeah, the best line he has in that movie is, you screw up this much, you'll be flying a cargo ship of rubber dog S out of Hong Kong. I don't know who wrote that, but it's a masterful delivery. He takes his cigar, you screw up this much. Oh, I love it. There's the 80s movies, just there's always that one character. And the guy in The Breakfast Club, he also played that, the principal in The Breakfast Club. He also made a career out of being that guy.
What was the principal's name in Ferris Bueller?
That was Ed Rooney. And he wasn't the principal, he was the dean of students.
Oh, the dean, that's right. Yeah.
Again, Dean Bitterman. Like
that guy, Jeffrey Jones, his name.
Yeah.
Still with us?
No, I think he's died.
He died.
I think he died.
No, he's alive.
Really?
Yeah, 79.
He got caught up, I think, in some kid stuff.
Yeah, something happened with him. I remember that.
I think he turned out that he liked saplings.
Let's see.
I think he got his hand caught in the cookie jar.
You're right.
Yeah.
He was arrested in 2002.
Yeah.
Oh God, for possession of child sexual abuse.
I thought he was dead. Maybe I just thought I remember that.
He also solicited a 14-year-old boy to produce sexually explicit images.
Yeah, you can't really.
Boy.
You don't get to come back from that one.
No, bad guy.
Oh, yeah, that's no good.
All right, well, I retract my statement.
Were you about to say that he was great in this too?
I loved it. Yeah, he was awesome in Ferris Bueller.
Well, he was great. Like
his character acting was
yes,
excellent.
Of those sorts of characters, he had the most robust. He was the dad in Beetlejuice, and he was in Howard the Duck. The greatness that was. He played the scientist in Howard the Duck. He was in all kinds of stuff. Was Devil's Advocate with Al Pacino. He was a
not anymore.
He's playing a different kind of Devil's Advocate. Is he in prison?
No,
he got out.
This says Principal Ed Rooney.
No, he was the dean of students. I remember that well. Right on the desk. How would you feel about another year of high school? Yeah, those movies just left like an image, because that's like what you grew up with. You know, you head to Blockbuster Video on a Friday night and grab your copy of Ferris Bueller, and away you go.
It doesn't seem as if he served any time.
Really? So he
had felony charges.
They couldn't really prove anything. He just got canceled.
250 hours of community service, 3 years probation.
That's it?
That's all he got.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was back in 2010.
Dude, it is crazy. There was some Christian pastor that he was raping like a 12-year-old, and he got 6 months. Like I never understand how that happens. Like, you would think that some of those crimes carry like monster sentences, and then you read about him. Now, to be fair, it's not like I read through all the details of the case, but that's what he pled guilty to. He was convicted of it, and he got 6 months, and then like he had to register as a sex offender. I'm like, 6 months? For repeatedly having sex with a 12-year-old? AKA raping, because 12-year-olds can't have sex? It's always strange when those cases. Pete Townsend, right? He got caught with it, and nothing ever happened to him. He had to register as offender, and that was it. I think if you know people and you got money like anything else, you can kind of
Apparently he likes,
weasel your way out of it.
he values his autonomy, and he enjoys everyday tasks like home repairs.
Yeah, I think that's what happens when the world knows that you're soliciting minors for sex.
He is also uninterested in his status in the community and fan adulation.
I see.
So,
Yeah.
just want to point that out about Mr. Jeffrey Jones.
Isn't it funny how when you become a convicted pedophile that all of a sudden, like, you become very isolated? Like, oh, no.
Well, it's the only play.
Yeah.
You got to lay low.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like Matt Lauer. It's like, oh, I'm not interested.
right.
And Kevin Spacey's trying to make a comeback. He's a pedo.
Yeah, but he hasn't made a comeback.
He's trying, though.
But he hasn't.
Yeah. Remember, Kevin Spacey not too long ago made a plea about, like, basically he was like saying he was homeless, even though he's renting like a $15,000 a month house.
Didn't he win his case, though? One of his cases?
I don't know whatever happened with that. But look, come on, man. We know Kevin Spacey, again, likes, he's liking young boys. And sorry, Kevin, you're not coming back anytime soon.
Yeah, he was found not guilty of all 9 sexual assault charges. This was his London criminal trial.
Yeah, not coming back, Kevin. We're good here, bud.
He was found in New York. He was found not liable for battery in a civil lawsuit.
Still not
He
happening.
has been acquitted or cleared in multiple legal proceedings regarding sexual misconduct allegations.
I hope you got some residuals off of American Beauty, because you're not getting hired anytime soon.
Well, I just wanted to point that out. I think it's fair to say he did not go to jail. He was acquitted.
Yeah, neither did Michael Jackson. And
That's important.
just saying.
What are you saying?
OJ was innocent, too.
No, he wasn't.
I beg to differ.
We all know what he did.
No, OJ was innocent.
Nah.
Isn't it crazy that OJ got, he went to prison for, like, kidnapping.
I thought it was it kidnapping?
Yeah, he went after his
I thought
own
he stole his old goods.
He did, but he technically,
That's not a kid.
No, but it's kidnapping if you hold someone against their will. Like if someone comes in here and you try to leave and they keep you in the studio,
So I can sue Odyssey?
Yeah, if
I've
they
been
try
trying to leave this place for 20 years.
They try to force you to stay. Yeah, I don't think kidnapping has anything to do with
Odyssey
kid.
station.
I'm being kidnapped.
I don't know why it's called kidnapping, but you can kidnap a grown adult. Like if I take you and throw you in the trunk of my car, that's kidnapping.
Well, kidnapping started by probably napping kids. But
I would assume.
And we just didn't. We're too lazy to change its name.
Well, adult napping is probably a little.
What's the difference between kidnapping and abduction?
Yeah.
I love adult napping. Oh.
Adult nap.
Taking naps.
I'll tell you what, the adult golf nap, that's the best nap there is. The football nap, also pretty good. The Sunday fall asleep, and like the final round of like the Masters, I fall asleep on hole 4. I wake up like hole 13.
Well, you hear the birds. It's so peaceful. It's a little
Well, you
white
miss
noise.
11 and 12.
Well, but I'm sleeping. I wake up in time to see what's happening.
12's a key shot.
Kidnapping originated late 17th century, and it was a slang term for, the stealing of children. And that was because, I guess back then, people were stealing them to be servants or laborers to the American colonies.
Oh, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. So that's where that came from, and then we never really changed it. Yeah, I guess we weren't.
We never really changed.
No.
Am I wrong? We've been doing this since the 1700s.
It's a little weird that we were. I didn't necessarily know that we were just shipping kids over, like we were kidnapping kids and shipping them over
What
on the
else
boat.
are they doing?
I don't know.
It's not like they're playing video games back then.
Well,
Put them to work.
Dude, I think they were working back in the olden days. I think that's the point.
Well, work harder.
Child labor laws are ruining this country. Some kid out there working It is crazy when you see those old photos and there's like a 10-year-old in the coal mines. He's got black lung by 12, smoking a pipe. He's married with 3 kids by 13. It's a different time. We're in a sheet metal factory when you're 7, working a hole punch. Like, let's do this.
Difference between kidnapping and abduction?
I think it's just the same thing.
You think it's just the same thing?
Well, it's the same thing. It's just a different term for it. Whether you get charged with abducting someone or kidnapping someone, I think that's the same thing. I think one's just a slang term for it, one's not.
So kidnapping is the unlawful, forcible, or deceitful seizure of a person or detention of a person. Abduction involves generally taking a person or a child away from their legal guardian or home, sometimes by persuasion.
So, but that's a child. What if I take you? I can still abduct you. It doesn't have to be a kid.
That's what it said, person or child.
Yeah.
It said that right in
I think we
there.
focus on the children a lot. You can abduct anyone.
Well, that's what it said. It said person or child. It's just the difference is kidnapping is forcible, unlawful, deceitful. Abduction is oftentimes, hey, little kitty, You want some candy?
Isn't that so?
Come into my van.
Interesting. So you're
abducting. You're
coercing
taking them,
as opposed to.
Well, that's part of it, but you're taking them from their parents or home.
Interesting.
Whereas kidnapping, it'd be like you'd nab them maybe at the state fair or something.
So how does the hostage play into this?
I don't know.
Is that different?
Well, you kidnap a hostage or abduct a hostage.
Huh.
Right?
But
that's what you did to get the hostage.
But do I have to unless I'm trying to get something from someone, are you no longer a hostage? Like if I just take you, and as long as I'm not asking for something in your return, you're not a hostage, are you? Like if I take you for the express consent of putting you in my dungeon and doing God knows what with you, knowing that your screams will never touch the ears of man again, that's not hostage. Now, if I take you and I try to get Nurse Nice, or more importantly, the Vassarop Fortune, give me X and I will return you, then I would think that is a hostage situation.
According to AI, a person can still be considered a hostage even if the captor does not demand anything in return.
Oh.
So you can still be a hostage.
So if I do just keep you in a dungeon, you are indeed a hostage.
Yep. Oh. A hostage situation is defined by the involuntary confinement of a person, coupled with a threat.
Can't say I knew that.
Yeah.
I thought there had to be a component of ransom for the hostage. And now someone's asking, now we're getting into the alien abduction, and now it's a whole other thing. Now we've got probing involved. There's a lot happening there. And when you do get alien abducted, there's no one there to help you.
Well, why is it not alien kidnapping?
Because aliens don't kidnap, they abduct.
Yeah, they take you from your home and your legal guardian.
I've never heard of an alien kidnapping. It's always abduction. And I would think that's the worst kind of abduction because no one's taking you seriously. Imagine coming back and you explaining people, like if you just left work for 2 weeks and no one knew what happened and you came back very sore 2 weeks and were like, I was abducted. You're getting fired. Your boss isn't taking you seriously. There's no way that anyone's taking that seriously. That's by far the worst abduction. God knows what's happened to you up there. And no, there's no recourse. You can't sue the aliens, right? There's no legal action. Good luck going to the cops. They're just going to tell you that you're a loony. In fact, you may end up in a psych ward. Hands down, worst abduction, alien abduction. Not even close.
Yeah, so both terms imply a non-consensual removal of a person. Alien abduction is more accurate because it implies a more secretive, mysterious, or even clinical removal, as opposed to kidnapping, which implies
more of a snatch and grab sort of thing.
Planned ransom, criminal act.
Someone's saying don't even forget about the false imprisonment because that's a whole other one.
Well, I think we know what that is.
There's a lot of ins and outs.
Do we need to look that one up?
There's a lot of ins and outs to this abduction game. Not that we're trying to abduct anyone. It's just, it's more of a public service announcement, letting people know what's out there.
Shanghaiing is a term.
Oh yeah. Although I thought Shanghai was just getting railroaded. I never thought of that.
What's railroaded mean? Shanghaiing.
I thought you just get screwed over.
Shanghai, you get drugged.
Oh. But not necessarily taken, just drugged.
And I also think you have to be on a ship. Don't you? They put you on a ship, like they drug you and put you on a ship. That's what it was.
Then how do you get what happens to the kidney harvesting sort of thing? Because that's always the story. Like when you go to Mexico or wherever, you get drugged and then you wake up in a bathtub full of ice and you're missing a kidney. Did you get shanghaied?
Shanghaiing is the practice of kidnapping people to serve as sailors. Yeah, by coercive techniques such as trickery, intimidation, or violence. Boy. Yeah, so Shanghai. Yeah, that's what they used to do.
Really?
Remember they'd run them through the Shanghai tunnels here?
Oh, and then, you just ended up on a boat, huh?
It'd be like, hey.
Interesting.
This is your new job.
Boy, wouldn't that be something?
Shanghai.
You just wake up one day and you're just on a boat, and, where do you, you can't tell the people to take you back. And that was the olden days, too. You were 6 months out on that boat, and you were probably going to get scurvy and fall overboard, die in some sort of storm. Boy, the olden days sucked. Whatever you think about modern day and what's going on, and I know things aren't going great right now, it's better than it used to be. Way, way better.
If there were a new term for, or let's say Shanghaiing still existed.
Yeah.
But they would abduct you and put you on a yacht.
Yeah.
And you would have to work.
Sure.
But you're on a yacht.
Kind of like a below deck situation?
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people that would love to be Shanghaied.
Huh.
I think that's not a bad trade.
If you're working at a Walmart right? And you're putting away the carts.
Why not do that in the beautiful waters of Australia?
I'm not gonna lie. I always feel bad for those people, the cart people. I think that's like the worst. Yeah,
I mean, like that'd be a cool thing to get Shanghai.
As a former cart person at Costco, the carts are way better than working inside the actual.
Really?
Yeah,
because you were a cart guy.
Yeah, because you don't have to deal with people. You're kind of on your own schedule. No one's really watching you, so you're kind of on your own out there.
Can I ask a question? Like of your
Yes.
of 100% commitment to your time, what is the percentage of time that you actually wrangled carts? 20, 25?
No, it's more than that. It's because probably it's up 50-60%.
Okay. So do you wander a lot then? You just kind of
wander a lot. You go to the different lots. You go to the lot out in the third parking lot rather than the first parking lot. You waste some time that way. You go get a drink of water. You play games where you and your friends, you see how close you can get to cars and then touch them as they drive.
Wow.
Oh.
That was a big game that we would do.
It's not that bad then,
yeah,
huh?
like in the parking lot, we literally would play a game where cars would drive by us and we'd get close and then we would touch the moving cars and we would see how many we could do before we get carts.
Well, I'm sorry that I felt bad because every time I see the cart guy, I'm like, oh my God.
See, I always asked. I'm like, hey, can I go push carts?
Huh. That's better than being
And where was this?
This is at Costco.
Costco.
I didn't want to be a box boy boxing your groceries. I wanted to be a cart guy pushing carts.
Oh. I always
Get a little sun.
I always thought maybe, that's true. That's better than having one of those like chin beard things on and like handing out salami samples.
Yes.
I always thought the salami sample guy, I thought that was the place to be. You're inside, AC, you're just sitting
Those
there.
old people have a hold on those jobs, man. You can't get those.
Can't get those?
No.
Yeah.
Coveted.
I would think. And then you always wonder, like, do you have to work you up to the good ones? Because you always start out with like that crappy like vitamin smoothie thing. And then there's always like some sort of like salsa that no one really wants. But you get into like the meats and cheeses, I think that's a coveted position. That's where I want to be. You got that easy bake oven that you're working there, cranking those out, and you're like, hey, $15.99 right behind you.
Was that the worst?
You are not wrong.
Was that the worst job you ever had?
Oh, no. Not even close.
What's the worst job you ever had besides this one?
Yeah, besides this one. For sure, this one. I worked at like Dick's Sporting Goods as just like a cashier guy. That wasn't very fun. I worked as the Fred Meyer shoe man, like in the shoe department.
Whoa. You were the shoe guy?
I was.
At Freddy's.
That was really boring.
Are people, can I ask are people buying shoes at Freddy's? Is that
I mean, this was back in the day. This was 2006, maybe 2005.
Yeah, department store.
Does Freddy's still have shoes? Is that a...
Yeah, they have clothes.
Huh.
The big ones.
Yeah.
The big Freddy's.
There were always people wandering in and out. There were people buying shoes. There's also people stealing. There's a lot of thefts too.
Oh yeah.
That's what they go to because people know there's not a lot of cameras in the shoe section. That's what they go to steal things. A lot of times you check a box and there's old shoes in there and the new shoes are gone.
I've just never once thought to myself, hey, I need shoes to Freddy's.
That's a great idea, actually.
We're learning some stuff today.
We're from the city of Portland. That was, it's fine.
I'll tell you right now.
So you had to get out that metal...
The shoehorn thing?
The foot measurer thing?
Yeah, people, like old people want you to do it. I kind of refuse to do it. I'm like, here's the shoehorn. You can put your foot in there.
Yeah, just try it on.
Like, I'm not touching your foot. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know if I've seen one of those in...
So you weren't very good at that job.
No, I was not. I was Al Bundy.
Does anyone measure the foot anymore?
Probably not anymore.
I haven't had my foot measured in 30 years. But when you were a kid, I remember that.
It was a big deal.
Yeah, you had to go in and see if your foot grew. And then you're like, I think I'm a 7. And the guy's like, no, 7.5. You're like, oh my God, a monster.
God, what a terrible job. You're right.
That was bad.
I appreciate the long list of the random Steven.
I worked at Columbia Edgewater as a maintenance guy.
Oh, that's not a bad gig.
No, I mean, I'm terrible. I'm terrible at yard maintenance, though. That's the problem.
Well, why'd they hire you?
Because I knew the guy who ran it. So he put me as a waterer, so I just be watering the grass.
Yeah, like by hand?
Yeah, with the big giant hose.
Yeah.
So there's no wonder Steven hates people. But those list of jobs, I can get it.
No kidding.
Yeah. Do you have like a great resume? I hope you kept all your name tags.
I have numerous. Yeah. I have a Costco. I have a U.S. Bank. I worked at U.S. Bank for a second there.
And I want those things. I should just put those things like on a nice plaque, like a lifetime achievement sort of thing.
We should put together our resumes, our non-radio
resumes.
Yeah,
Oof.
That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah. I've got some. Mine were mostly summer like kind of gigs, but yeah,
Mine too.
There's some. I've had my fair share. I was a janitor. That was probably my worst. Actually, it was the best and worst job that I've ever had because no one gave 2 S's what you did. I mean, it was total Thunderdome. Like the amount of illegal activity that happened amongst that janitorial staff, which is why I always say be nice to your janitor, because I promise you, A, they don't care, and you're not around, and they're doing stuff.
Coach Vaughn tells me that all the time, that teachers treat the janitors horribly, and she's like, I treat them so nicely because I know what they can. They have power.
Yes. They are there when you are not, and you be careful, because maybe now that they pay better, but when they were paying us, we made $7 damn an hour, and I promise you, no one cared about that $7. Nobody. And you pissed off one of the janitors, and they knew where you sit.
You know how you like to say, people, like if you think you're the average person, you have no idea.
Yeah, you're not.
You know, there are different ways we all learn the same lesson.
Yeah.
One of the ways I learned that was delivering appliances in 100-degree heat.
I bet.
With a bro who hated me, who smoked with the windows rolled up in his old beat-up truck.
Is this in Kansas, too?
In Lawrence, Kansas.
Humid.
In the middle of summer to trailer parks and white trash.
I think that takes the cake there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. And so the cabin would fill up with smoke, and the guy didn't talk. Yeah. And it was just me. I'm like, okay. There was no, I couldn't have headphones on or anything back then. And we'd go deliver the washer and dryer or the fridge, but the worst part was you had to install it, so you had to take out the old one. And the way some people live, and the things that were behind their appliances,
you got to see it.
I just can't unsee it. It changed me forever. It scarred me for life.
It's
really.
like a Scared Straight program. After that, you decided to get better grades and go to school.
Dude, that is so true. After doing that, I'm like, dude, I am never doing that again.
My brother-in-law tells stories because they have my wife's family has their own home video library electronics, so he would deliver electronics and stuff. He tells me stories about people's houses. It's insane.
Well, then you see the hoarders. Like that was my first indoctrination into people who are actual real hoarders.
Yes.
Dude, I remember opening it. I'm like, we cannot get this washer into your house, lady. There's like knee-high waste. The whole house. Like I can't. There's no path. What am I supposed to do with this?
I did an internship when I was getting ready to graduate with an EMT company for my degree, and when I thought we were going to ride along in ambulances, I thought we would go to like car wrecks, and no, dude, you're getting called to lonely old people's homes that and have called 8,000 times before, and that was mine. When I showed up to people's homes, and you're like, oh,
yeah,
sad.
Yeah, that's when you learn a lot.
That's when you're like,
Whoa.
this is people.
Yeah, this is people.
Yeah. Well, before that, you're just like and it's in Utah, right? Like Provo and Orem in that area, like it's a pretty nice. You don't think of Utah as that way, and then you're like, oh, this is people. This is people. You show up to someone's house, and like you said, when you can't get in the front door, and they're just like, oh boy, and the people there are like, oh, that's just Gertie. It's the 9th time she's called this month.
I'm just not into it, bro.
While you're in there, look for a cat. Haven't seen the cat in 6 months.
Nope. You're like, what's that smell? You're like, that's the game. Let's find it out.
That's the cat.
Yep.
All right. Well, there's an extra long opening seggy for you today here on a Tuesday. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Nice to be with you today. We will start with. Let me pull up my notes here. I forgot what we're.
To the notes.
To the notes. Oh,
we've got me.
We've got a little NFL.
Big NFL news, really.
Oh, he's going to call it big NFL news.
Well, I mean, it's significant. He's a bee. First big domino to fall.
Yeah. We'll start there next on The Fan.
1280 AM.
All right, coming up, we've got exclusive primetime audio. Is this adorable or is it sad? But first, Kyler Murray, the first of the quarterback dominoes, has fallen.
Well, and it's the biggest domino.
Why? Because he's the best one?
He's the best one. I mean, if you wanted to throw Tua in there, like Tua and Kyler Murray have both been paid, and they've proven that in, the right situations, they can be successful. I mean, they've both made legitimate Pro Bowls, not Shedeur Sanders Pro Bowls. Let's not make them out to be bad quarterbacks.
Can I say that I'd rather have Tua than Kyler? Does that make me sound foolish?
No, it doesn't.
Only because I just feel like Tua wants to be better at the position, and I'm not sure Kyler does.
I understand.
So I just, I'm not that I'm going anywhere with either of them. It's just, I don't know. I want no part of Kyler Murray, but he has been or will be released by the Cardinals next week.
Yeah. So. And he had a nice, did you see his farewell? He took it well. He had a nice...
Yeah, I mean, what's he supposed to say? Like,
well, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of people that get real defiant, how dare you sort of thing. Like, Kyler Murray, I mean, that guy won a Heisman Trophy, right? Top pick in the NFL draft. Like, that guy's had a lot of success. And so to get cut, to know that not only does your team not want you, but no one else wants you, that can... You can get a little... I'm sure you can get a little bristly. How dare you, F you, that sort of thing. And he had a very nice post where he thanked the people of Arizona. He thanked the people that had been nice to him and his family. I just thought he handled that with class. And I think that that's harder to do sometimes than people realize. So I'll just, I'm not a huge Kyler Murray guy, but I'll give him his props. I thought he handled it as well as humanly possible.
Yeah, he probably had a publicist write that.
Well, yeah, I know, but still.
That's what you should do.
Yes.
I suppose.
He said, to everyone that supported me and showed me kindness, to my family and me during my time in Arizona, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I wanted nothing more than to be the one to end 77 years of drought for this organization. I'm sorry I failed us. I wish this community and my brothers nothing but the best. I am no stranger to adversity. I'm prepared for whatever next. I trust in God and my work ethic. I believe that my best ball is in front of me, and I look forward to proving it. Godspeed. Whether he wrote that or the PR, I thought that was really classy, and I thought he handled that really well, and I'll tip my cap to him.
Is that a little bit of a shot at the Cardinals, though?
What do you
saying
mean?
My best ball is in front of me?
Well, I mean, I guess, but he also said, he said he failed them. He said, I wanted to be the one. He said, I'm sorry I failed us.
Yeah.
But he also said they've sucked for 77 years. So, what more could I do? That's the way I took it.
He's not wrong.
But he's not wrong, yeah.
Well, I guess the Kurt Warner years were pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, they made us.
But outside of that,
they made a Super Bowl.
Well, they haven't done any. Dude, they do not. Did I say this yesterday?
It's a bad organization.
I think I did say this yesterday. I'm going to repeat it.
Yeah.
It's so important. 2 days in a row. We make fun of the Jets or the Browns or the whomevers.
Mm-hmm.
We don't make enough fun of the Cardinals for being crappy. We just don't.
No.
They get a pass, and I don't know why.
Well,
maybe it's the Kurt Warner pass.
They get a pass simply because we don't think about them.
Well, the division's so good.
Well,
Well, why do we think about the Browns and the Jets? They're the same
because
thing every year.
Because they've been around a long time, and those are kind of especially the Jets. There's kind of a marquee nature to it. Arizona is just an afterthought. It's like, the Browns were one of the original OGs, right? The Jets, Joe Namath, and they're in Broadway and all that. No one thinks about the Arizona Cardinals. Like, if you had to give me the most nondescript NFL franchise that's just the definition of, khaki pants or tan walls, is it not the Arizona Cardinals? You don't feel one way or another about them. They don't have real fans. They don't have a real ownership. There's no real history there. They even have bland uniforms. They're the Cardinals, whatever. It's just, it is the definition of blah. Whereas the Browns, it's a passionate fan base, right? Great history there. And, the dog pound and all that, and blue collar city. What is even Arizona? When I think of Arizona, it's Scottsdale and a bunch of rich people that don't give two S's.
I think the Browns have a little bit of comedy to their nature. Like, it's so bad it's laughable.
Yeah.
So they become a topic. Whereas the Cardinals, it's never really like that. It's just bad. Yeah. It's not laughable. It's just bad.
Yeah.
And I think there's a difference.
Sure.
And then we don't pay attention. We don't care. Because every once in a while they'll rise up. Like, didn't they do that a couple years ago with, was it Steichen, their coach? Not Steichen. Who was their coach?
Are you talking about the
Gannon. I'm talking about the Cardinals.
The Cardinals? Well,
Bruce Arians.
No, it was Gannon.
Well,
Gannon
Bruce Arians was there.
No, I understand. I'm talking about Gannon. Like, what I'm saying is, they just always seem to have like moments where it's like, oh, look at the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Like Kyler had them.
Yeah.
And Gannon had them.
Yeah.
And
nothing ever really happens though.
No, nothing. You can set your watch to that.
No.
But at least they have moments. The Browns don't.
The Browns have
Although they did go to the playoffs with Baker.
The Browns have been futile for a long
and Jets the same.
Long time. Yes.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but
and by the way, looking at
perception.
Looking at Kyler Murray and Tua, they're the same player. They're just, I mean, even the numbers, 67% completion versus 68. Tua's slightly better. Kyler Murray's quarterback rating over his career, 92. Tua's is over it's 96.
I just think it depends where they go.
Yeah, 121 touchdowns and 60 interceptions, 120 touchdowns and 59 interceptions. Tua's had a couple bigger years. Both have been beat up. Both are smaller guys that don't really stand the test of time. Both can't really play in cold weather and finish the season strong. Yeah, and both got paid. They are literally just, it's the Spider-Man meme. You're pointing at them. Is it better than some random journeyman? Yes. But are they worth what you have to pay for them? No.
Who would you rather have? I'm taking Tua.
If I got rid of the brain stuff,
you can't.
I know. So I think I would probably lean towards Kyler.
I take Kyler.
If you got rid of the brain stuff, of course you take Kyler.
I think Tua is one turf shot away from never playing football again.
You're talking about I mistook that.
Kyler's just an idiot.
Yeah, Kyler's a bonehead who you really can't get through to. You were talking about the concussions.
Yeah. He is one bad bounce off the ground from never playing football again. And for all of Kyler's stuff, and yes, his is more physical limitations, and I think Kyler is a better athlete than Tua. I don't know how that's going to age, but they're both undersized. I think Kyler probably has more of a natural athletic gift there. So I think I would lean that way when I take that in with the injury, but bottom line is I don't want either one of them at their price tag. Now, if you told me I could get them at the Sam Darnold rate, if I was Minnesota and you told me that I could get Tua and Kyler and I could get them for 25, yeah, all day, 25 mil?
For sure.
But when I have to pay 40 plus, when I have to pay 40, 50 million, which is the going rate for a franchise quarterback, no.
So with Kyler, they owe him 37 this year.
Yeah.
And then on March 15th, they said there's another 19, I think, that would kick in for next year.
Yeah.
So that's why they're going to cut him.
Yeah.
Now, they could trade him.
No one's going to do
that,
though.
But no one's going to trade for him. So he will he's been told he will be cut if he's not traded. Yeah. And that will be next week when the league year begins, which I think is maybe March 11th.
And Kyler and Tua both are probably having the same conversation where they know that they're not going to be there. And it's just a matter, does anyone want you? And the answer to that question is going to be no. And so...
Well, there's somebody wants him.
Yes.
They just don't want to pay
the freight. So, yeah, he next year, if you traded for him...
Which one?
Kyler. I just pulled up Kyler Murray's contract. If you pulled him next year, it's a $52 million hit against your cap.
Yeah. So that's why the Cardinals are going to cut him and have to get out of that deal.
Yeah.
And then you can sign him for whatever you want, much like the Russell Wilson thing.
Yeah, and that's why I think if you're I think there will be if Murray and Tua both end up getting cut, there is a robust market out there for them.
Oh, for sure.
I just hope that the Kyler Murrays and the Tuas of the world understand this is it. This is your last chance to be on a real winning team. And two things. Pick your team wisely. Don't go to the Raiders, for God's sakes, right? Fight to get to Minnesota and take a favorable contract. You're already gotten paid. Both of Kyler Murray's contract for this was he got $230 million. And of that was guaranteed, I think, 160. So you've been paid, plus your rookie contract. So he's already made over $200 million. You've been paid. You're getting paid for the next 2 years, right? Go to Minnesota and tell Minnesota, I don't need 45. I don't need 50. I understand that you're not going to take 10, okay? I'm not, which is, still, it's 10 million. But you don't need to insult yourself and say 10. But Justin Fields went to there on a prove-it year, right? 2 years, right about 20 each. Do that. $20 million, and then tell the Vikings, hey, you can take that extra 40 and go build me a better team. And let's go win. That's a team that can win a Super Bowl. And if you win a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, a la Sam Darnold, all of a sudden, all that narrative crap about you goes away. But if you end up in Vegas, or you go to one of those places and you're like, oh, I want, all my money, and you go to a bad team, you're just going to get your teeth kicked in again. And the next thing you know, the next job isn't a starting job. It is a guaranteed backup. So both of these guys need to be smart. I just don't know if either one of them is.
Well, it's easy for you to say that. They're also balancing their life and their family and their money. And, if somebody offers you a ton of money, maybe Tua or Kyler are just in that space of, look, this is probably my last big one. I'm going to cash it in and ride off into the sunset. So that's for them to decide. But,
it's a big opportunity. Choose wisely. It's all.
Yeah, like if you really love football, I think they should do what you're saying. Yeah. But it doesn't seem like Kyler does. No. Like, I don't think that dude cares.
I don't think so either. He can say all he wants about it being misinterpreted with the video game stuff and all that, but it's when narratives get out there about you, they didn't come out of nowhere, right? I love when people are like, well, that's ridiculous. These are unfounded. They may not all be true, and they may not all paint the perfect picture of you, but guess what? You threw that paint up there on the canvas. We didn't make this up out of nowhere, right? Reputations exist for a reason, and that's your reputation. And by the way, the film backs it up. And ultimately, that's the end of the day. The film doesn't lie. And people that are smart watch you, and there's a reason why the Cardinals are about to eat, I don't know, $70 million against their cap. Think about that. When a team says, I would rather just swallow $85 million over the next 2 years to have you not on my team, that's all you need to know about where you stand in this
you're
league.
Right, because they just got a new coach, and he's a good offensive coach, LaFleur.
Yes.
So why wouldn't you? Like, that guy wants no part of Kyler Murray.
No.
You're exactly right. That tells you everything you need to know.
All you need to know.
Because otherwise, you'd be like, well, we're paying him. We might as well make something out of him. Yeah. They know they can't.
Yeah, it's like $80+ million that they have to sit on over the next 2 years.
That's a giant red flag.
Yes.
By the way, somebody said that the Cardinals are literally the oldest franchise.
Yeah, they've been around a long time.
They were in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
They go all the way back to 1920.
Yeah.
So that, again, but they also moved. They moved to St. Louis, of course, and then Arizona. They
just stink. They have not been relevant forever.
No, they haven't. I just don't know why we don't make fun of them more. Yeah. I think I'm going to start trying to make fun of them more for you guys.
Dude, it's
because the Browns get enough, and the Jets get plenty because they're high profile. Cardinals aren't, and this is going to be my new platform. Cardinal hate.
Let's do it.
Until they do something good.
Well, I'm
going to stay on them.
They're cutting Kyler.
Only because I care.
Yeah.
I have a different quarterback question that I'd like to pose to the committee, and I'll do that next. Oh, we're a little behind, aren't we? We're going Sports Center. Yeah, all right. Well, we'll got to get out of here. Here is Steven with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Atlanta Braves. Their outfielder Jurickson Profar tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug again, sources told ESPN's Jeff Passan. This follows an 80-game ban last season he had for having testing positive for a performance-enhancing drug, where he was out for 80 games, or only played 4 games last year. After signing the 3-year, $42 million deal, he will now miss the entire 2026 season because of performance-enhancing drugs. Adam Schefter is reporting the Cardinals are going to cut quarterback Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins. Barring a trade, Murray was already guaranteed just under $37 million for 2026 and was set to be guaranteed another $19.5 million for 27 if he was still on the roster on March 16th. Indianapolis Colts, they're going to use the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market. If Jones does not sign a competing offer sheet, he will earn a 1-year guaranteed salary of $37.8 million. And a couple notable players in the NFL who were not franchise tagged will now become free agents. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker III will be the free agent. Jaguars running back Travis Etienne, Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce, and Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson all on the free agent market. And the 2026 World Baseball Classic begins pool play tomorrow. USA will start on Friday, and Team USA manager Mark DeRosa announced He has set the rotation for pool play. It'll be Logan Webb versus Brazil on Friday, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, Paul Skeens on Monday, and then Nolan McLean on Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home AM.
Odds on Kyler Murray's next team, according to DraftKings, Jets are the favorite. Vikings plus 190. So the Jets plus 100. Vikings plus 190. Dolphins plus 300. Falcons and Browns plus 450.
See, like the idea of going to the Dolphins, you're just trading an expensive problem for a slightly less expensive problem. There's just no difference there. I don't understand.
Is there a difference with any of them? I mean, Minnesota, because of O'Connell, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't the Vikings just have their choice of whoever they want?
I would assume. Like, Minnesota clearly does not want J.J. McCarthy to be the quarterback next year. You know, so if you're Kyler or Tua, and I'm assuming Tua gets cut too, we'll see. He's got a bigger financial hit than Kyler does, but by all accounts, that seems to be the case. And yes, Minnesota should be able to take whichever one they want, and either one of those guys should beg Minnesota to take him, and then it's just a matter of what price tag you can come up with. And then after that, it trickles down. The Falcons, I think, is an attractive space. If I was looking for a place, they have real weapons. It's a real offense, and Penix is coming off the knee.
Who's their new coach?
Stefanski.
Who again,
real coach too.
I think is a real coach. That's a good fit. So if it's not,
what about Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't know what Pittsburgh has going on. I don't like
McCarthy.
Yeah,
their offense should be better.
You would think. And do they want to bring back Rodgers? That's another one that I guess is a real franchise. I still think the Minnesota and the Atlanta Falcons are a better landing spot. But yeah, Pittsburgh is a playoff team.
What about the Colts?
It sounds well. They did the transition tag on Daniel Jones, so
he's their guy.
He's their guy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, Kyler could be a backup here.
I don't think either one of these guys is willing to go, especially sit behind Daniel Jones.
There's been a couple of good comments about Tua going to the Vikings and how that's a bad fit because cold weather. And we've seen what he does in cold weather games. It's been pretty terrible.
But they play inside, so
I know. But when they play the Packers, they play the Bears.
Yeah. At some point, though, like most of the games that you're playing in the NFL are going to be indoors. Eventually, the Bears are going to play indoors too. Like, there's just not many of those. But yeah, like you wouldn't want him to be in Kansas City. You wouldn't want him to be in New England. But you're in a dome either way. But yeah, I guess there is an element to that if you do have to go outside a couple times a year.
Okay. Well, we'll take another break because we're behind.
Yeah.
And then I'll ask a football question. I have football questions.
Okay.
I've been thinking about things. I've been thinking about quarterbacks. Okay.
Just don't go to New York.
Why? I love New York.
That's you're
talking about Kyler.
If Tua or Kyler go to New York, you're just signing your own death warrant. It's like going to Vegas. Don't do it. Although they're going to draft Mendoza, so they won't take you. But
all right. So I have questions next on the Fam. So I was thinking about football because I love it, and I miss it so dearly.
UFL right around the corner, right?
Yeah. There's a lot of like ancillary things right around the corner, you know?
Yeah, Masters, you know.
Well, that's not ancillary. I would say.
WNBA.
Yeah, maybe if they can get their S together.
Yeah.
The World Baseball Classic is starting up.
Yeah.
I think the World Cup's coming around here in a couple months. You got, opening day.
UFL March
Masters.
27th.
So there's lots of sports
Get ready.
that we're waiting on. But, I was just like, football.
Football's football.
I love it.
We love it.
And you know what? It is football. Listen to anyone that knows anything,
They'll tell you.
and they will tell you. We have actually documented that over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But I was wondering, I was thinking about Kyler.
Football's football.
And Tua and all these quarterbacks. And it's just like this rotating cast of mediocre characters, you know?
Yeah.
Football is football.
Do you think football has ever had a better set of quarterbacks than right now, even though we trash some of these guys?
That's interesting. I mean, you'd have to go back and look at kind of the heyday of it. Certainly numbers are going to be skewed a little bit because, I mean, even if you look at like Troy Aikman, you go like if Troy Aikman won 3 Super Bowls, you look at Aikman numbers. Bradshaw won 4. You look at his numbers just as an example, or even go back to Joe Namath. You look at their passing numbers and they're just not impressive. But it was a different game. So you see different numbers today, and the numbers will tell you that there's better quarterback play of all time. But I think there was probably a run there maybe 15 to 20 years ago where you had Breeze, Brady, Rodgers, Big Ben, that crew. That was
the deepest.
Phillip Rivers was around there, and Eli Manning, and
the deepest quarterback pool in NFL history.
And again, I may have to go back and look into the 80s when you had that group, but I'm going to say that run there in the 90s, early 2000s with that group. I mean, and you even throw in, Matt Ryan was in that class. Andrew Luck was there for a while. I felt like that was kind of I don't know.
What's the peak year there? I'm gonna go look. I'm gonna go do something.
You'd have to look because when I came out of college, like that was like right at the end of the 90s into the 2000s, and those were all guys that I was kind of in that sphere with. The Joey Harrington group, a little before, a little after, because that group's going to span 20 years, and there was some really. Michael Vick would have been in that class, who was just insanely talented.
Brett
Favre, Dante Culpepper.
What year do you want me to click on here?
Go like 97.
Ooh.
Go like 97 to like 2000. Again, we're going to take a 20-year clip here. Like 97 through 2000 in whatever.
I have the top QB ratings for 2000 2009.
Okay.
The 2000s. It was Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Rivers, Tony Romo,
yeah.
Tom Brady, Rich Gannon, Drew Brees, Big Ben, Kurt Warner, Matt Schaub, Pennington, Jeff Garcia, Carson Palmer, Culpepper, McNabb, another one we forgot.
Yeah.
Steve McNair.
Who's at the bottom?
Joe Flacco.
Who's all the way down at the bottom?
Matt Ryan was 25th.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Brian Greasy, Matt Bulger, Matt Moore.
Yeah. So you're going to get years in there where you're going to see then Matthew Stafford emerges and guy like we were on a run there, and we've moved on because obviously most of those guys now have hung them up or getting ready to hang them up, the Aaron Rodgers of the world and stuff. But that to me was the run. That was where offense is starting to really get modernized, and the way Manning and Brady controlled the line of scrimmage, the offensive game planning really came into fruition. Defenses got neutered a little bit, right, with some of the rule changes. You weren't allowed to beat all the receivers, and you got really protecting the quarterbacks. And so, like, you could actually stay upright and healthy. Like, you go back and watch those 80s quarterbacks, I don't know how those guys lived. And they just got the living hell kicked out of them. And right around that late 90s, you couldn't hit them anymore. And so I think you had kind of the genesis of that, of the modern quarterback. And then you throw in 7-on-7, and guys are coming into the league better prepared, and quarterback coaches and specialization. And I just, that run, to me, is the greatest run in quarterback history.
Like the deepest quarterback pool.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
See, I that's why I asked if it was today, because we're talking about guys like Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
As scrap heap guys.
Yeah.
And he is...
He's good.
Yeah, well, he can be sensational.
Yeah.
So does here's the next question I was thinking about then. Does the NFL need bad quarterback play and mediocre quarterback play to function? Does that make us appreciate the great ones? Or has there ever been a time when all the quarterbacks were good? Or should the league, wouldn't the league want the deepest and best quarterback play for its ratings?
Yes.
And what if they booted every team? Maybe I had a few drinks, okay?
Okay.
But what if they booted any team that didn't have a good quarterback? Would that be an awesome league or what? Or do we need these, Look, the Jets of the world?
I will say that one of the reasons why the rules are the way they are is because that position became untenable. There just wasn't enough.
Yeah, they've kind of helped, but it's helped.
It's helped.
It's helped create that.
It's easier than ever to be serviceable. How about that? The systems, so pure progression reads now, and this is like what Kyle Shanahan brings into it, and Kurt Warner and some of the Tom Brady's, they rail against this because it's no longer anymore about kind of having control of an offense. It's at the snap of the ball. Kyle Shanahan will tell you, I don't care what happens. You look 1, 2, 3, 4. And based on one factor, this is what you're doing. They simplified it. RPOs, college games coming in. So they've simplified the position. So you're not asking quarterbacks to do nearly as much. We're not allowed to hit them anymore, high or low. Can't do that. Not allowed to hit our receivers anymore. So you can throw more hospital balls. You can go over the middle, and you don't have to worry about Cam Chancellor or John Lynch taking someone's head off. So we've made it simpler for guys to play the position, and yet there's still a lot of bad quarterback play in the league. So you're not going to get me to say that there's better quarterback play. There's just a lot of the game has become simpler to play, and the ones that really elevate, I think they stand out even more.
So is it possible? Next question.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have more good quarterbacks? Because you said it's easier than ever to be serviceable.
Yes.
But is it harder than ever to be good?
Yes.
So is it possible to have more good quarterbacks? Could they make the league better by somehow trying to make the bottom half of the league, which is generally coincides with not having a good quarterback, get better quarterbacks? Or is it just such a hard position that no matter what year you click on, you're going to see good, great, average, and bad?
Yeah, the only way I think that you could improve on this is how do I say this? The NFL is the worst league in the world at development. When you're in the NFL, you are what you are. And if you're going to develop, you're going to develop on your own. It's not a developmental league. There isn't time. We don't have patience. We throw you to the wolves. You say this all the time. How many times do we draft a quarterback like Anthony Richardson who has no business playing an NFL game, and they're like, you're not going to play. And then 4 weeks in, we're like, all right, we're going to play him. And when you're in the middle of that, there's no time to get better. There's no minor leagues, right? And high school is doing a piss poor job of preparing because it's not the NFL system. You can listen to an NFL scout that will say he can go watch Fernando Mendoza throw 35 passes in a college game, and maybe 5 to 7 of them actually translate to the NFL game. So the way to get better quarterback play would be from a young age to teach people how to play the NFL game. But that doesn't work because little kids at 7-on-7 want to win 7-on-7, and then they want to be great high school players, and they want to be great college players. And the best way to win at those levels is to have simplified systems where we let you be the best athlete and just run around and make plays and simplify things like running the air raid and these simple offenses. And then you get to the NFL and we wonder why these guys struggle. It's because you're asking them to do something brand new and in new language. And then when they can't pick it up within a year or two, we kick them to the curb. Or when a team is bad after 1 year, we fire their offensive coordinator and we bring in a new one, and he has to learn a new system. And then that guy sucks. Then we fire the head coach and he brings in another one. And it's just this rotating cast.
So if the league wanted to, it really could try to develop a deeper pool of good quarterbacks.
Yes.
But now you're peeing in the pot of college and
Yep.
like you'd need a whole new system. Like I'm thinking of like the Canadian junior hockey system.
Yes.
What if you had that for quarterbacks where
Yes.
kids just got in there young and they groomed them for the NFL? It'd make the NFL that much better.
It'd be way better.
But unfortunately, they can't do that.
If you had college programs run NFL offenses and have NFL, like
aren't some coaches kind of trying to do that?
They're
trying.
like,
that's what, isn't Dion a little bit like that?
He's
where
trying.
He's like, hey, if you want to play in the NFL, come here.
Yeah, but not necessarily for quarterback play because his offense was not mirrored for it. But that was like Stanford tried to do with Andrew Luck. But how many college offenses do you see run behind center, or run NFL style? Because it's hard. Yeah. And if I'm a college coach and I'm making $3 million, I don't have 2 to 3 years to implement a system when every year I may have to put in a new quarterback due to NIL or a kid graduating. So I need a guy that can hit the ground running. And so I'm going to make a real simple system where if you give me a great athlete with a good arm, in 6 months, I can have that guy running my offense.
Well, and also in college, the difference between the best athletes and the bad athletes is so much bigger than the NFL. So, yeah, if you're a college coach, put the best athlete back at quarterback, let him run around and make plays because he can win games for you and make you more money.
I think they should cut the NFL to 13 teams. Just the best quarterbacks.
Just the whole playoffs for the entire season.
Yeah, how great. Well, not even that because you had some bad quarterbacks in the playoffs.
I'll tell you this.
I'm saying just the best quarterbacks.
If you wanted the best product, 20 teams, divide all the players, get rid of the scrap heap, and if you had 20 teams, 10 in the NFC, 10 in the AFC, you would have the greatest thing you've ever seen in football. You would have stacked teams at every position, and everyone would have for the most part, everyone would have a good quarterback.
I'm going to do okay, so now...
Imagine a league full of nothing but Philadelphia Eagle type rosters with elite quarterbacks.
Well, and no team would have a bad quarterback. No. They're not all elite.
But they would be good.
I'm going to do a list during the break of the quarterbacks that are on the cut line for our league.
For our fantasy league.
There'd be plenty that would get chopped.
Yeah. Well, there would, but I'm saying the ones that are on the cusp, like close.
Yeah. I gave you 20 because we need enough games.
Yeah, right. We need because the playoffs need to be like 8.
Yeah, give me
top
20.
8.
Yeah, 20.
I love this idea. Why do they ever listen to us? Let's take a break. We'll come back on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club. Langdon Farms Golf Club. Good or bad? Good or bad weather, the golf course is always the driest around. Download the Langdon Farms app today to get all the latest news and specials. First on the Fan, Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar, he tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug again. This follows an 80-game ban just 4 games into last season. Profar, who signed a 3-year, $42 million deal last year, is going to miss the entire 2026 season. Adam Schefter reporting that the Cardinals are going to cut quarterback Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins. Barring a trade, Murray was already guaranteed almost $37 million for next season and was set to get another guaranteed $19.5 million for 2027 if he was still on the roster on March 16th. Indianapolis Colts, they are using the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market. And if Jones does not sign a completed offer sheet, he earns a 1-year guaranteed salary of $37.8 million. A couple notable players in the NFL who are not franchise tagged will now become free agents. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker III, Jaguars running back Travis Etienne, Colts receiver Alec Pierce, and Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson all will be free agents. 2026 World Baseball Classic begins pool play tomorrow. USA starts on Friday, and manager Mark DeRosa announced he has set his rotation for pool play. It'll be Logan Webb on Friday, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, Paul Skeens on Monday, and then Nolan McLean on Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com. All right, welcome back. We are talking about the sweet science of football. Although that's kind of what they call boxing.
Boxing is the sweet science.
What do they call football?
Well, football's football.
Yeah, you're right. They call it football.
I'd
and
say
that's because it is football.
I would say, like, if you wanted to say football, it's violent chess.
Football's football.
Violent chess.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
it is the most technical.
Football's football.
It's by far the most involved sport there is. No offense to like NBA offenses and hockey and baseball. Get out of here. Dude, the NFL.
Football is football. Football is football.
Learning an NFL offense or some of the defensive schemes that people are running, it's like learning Chinese algebra and you have to process it in 3 seconds. Oh, and by the way, someone's trying to hit you.
Yeah.
It's just, there's no position in the world. Everyone always says the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball. And from an individual skill point, I get that, right? Like, I'm not going to stand up there and, you know, the amount of people that are going to be able to hit a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, you could hit my baseball, but
yes,
hitting Paul Skeens is a different story.
Or stopping, you know, staying in front of Anthony Edwards one-on-one. I get that those are all very, very, very challenging things. But that's one individual skill set that relies on, you know, timing. Right, you have to have the visual acuity and the ability to process it and swing a bat, or the athletic ability to shuffle around. When you see what an NFL quarterback has to go through, just getting the play call alone, and then reading a defense, snapping the ball, figuring out what's going on, and then processing that in 2.5 seconds, then making a decision. There's a reason why there's about 15 people on the planet, the entire planet, that can actually do it at a particularly high level, and 15 is probably being pretty gracious.
So I was asking the question, why can't the NFL create a deeper quarterback pool, or is it impossible? Would it be a better league? By the way, I asked ChatGPT when was the deepest pool of quarterbacks in NFL history.
Yeah.
You know what they said?
What they got?
The old Chat GPT.
Yeah.
2018 to 2022.
And again, I'm guessing if you go off numbers, that would be it. Because again, the league has gotten easier to play and you're putting up better numbers.
So I'm looking at that year.
What would be that?
Well, you're looking at, okay, so.
What year was it?
Well, they said 2018 to 2022.
Okay, so
but what you're looking at there is you're looking at all the older guys.
Yeah.
Now being met with the younger guys like Lamar and Burrow and those guys. I think that's why. So, because I'm looking at the QBR ratings from that year, 2020 I took.
Sure, that's what I'm.
Lamar is 16, Roethlisberger 22, Goff 24, Burrow 25. Yeah. I'm looking down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And you've got an MVP in Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas at the top, it's the usual suspects: Mahomes, Josh Allen, Rodgers, Watson, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. Like, dude, that is
it's a hell of a run.
That's probably right. But anyway, the point is, I was thinking, what if the NFL just cut any team, like relegation? Let's have relegation.
You have a good quarterback, we vote you out.
Yeah. So the real NFL is only teams with good quarterbacks or top 20 quarterbacks. You put the cutoff at 20.
Yeah.
And then everybody else just go away. Mm-hmm. You suck. I don't want to watch you. Well, you picked a good number.
Because I said not just that. Because imagine there's 32 teams, and this goes back to the whole NBA thing, right? There's just not enough good teams. Think of how good O lines would be. Think about how good D lines would be.
It's the best of the NFL.
It's the best of the NFL. It would be on 20 teams. You would just have rosters that would be terrifying across the board. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, and you're right that if you did this for any sport,
be the greatest thing in the world.
The NBA would be the best one you could do it for because it's just so watered down. Yeah. And it's just fewer players on the court at one time. Yeah. So that the NBA, if you just
be such a good product.
If you narrowed the NBA down to 42 games, 50 games, and 20 teams, dude, now that's a league.
Yeah.
But of course,
Denny would be like the 4th or 5th best player on like the San Antonio Spurs. On the Spurs, and you'd be like, oh my God, who's going to beat him? And then you look at like the Denver Nuggets, and you're like, well, they've now added Anthony Edwards and Bam to their roster, and you're like, oh, well, maybe they beat him. It would be amazing. It'd be the best thing ever.
If the NFL cannot create a league where all the quarterbacks are good, we're going to have to only do a 20-team league. And you picked a great number because I went through all the quarterbacks and made a list of the quarterbacks that will be in our league, okay? And it's only these guys.
Yeah.
Stafford, Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert, Lamar, Love, and this is in no particular order.
Just throwing them out.
Darnold, Purdy, Goff, May, Allen, Dak, Trevor Lawrence, Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Hurts, and the last two in would be Cam Ward. Again, this is no particular order. These aren't the last two in, but Cam Ward and then Jaden Daniels. You would have a league that would not have Jackson Dart. It would not have Tyler Shuck. It would not have Aaron Rodgers. It would not have Mac Jones.
No.
It would not have Bryce Young. It would not have Kirk Cousins. It would not have Russell Wilson. It would not have Aaron Rodgers or Joe Flacco or Geno Smith or Kyler Murray. What a great league.
It would be amazing. Because the best part is those guys would be backups. So if someone did get hurt, for God's sakes, it'd be like, okay, now we're going to Aaron Rodgers as the backup.
And then if you play well, if you're Jackson Dart, and you play well in the relegated league,
someone goes
we'll
up.
elevate you.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to get hurt.
Yeah. It would be...
That'd be awesome.
I just want you to realize, like, back in the day, Joe Montana was the starting quarterback and the backup was Steve Young. Like, you would have things like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You like Jackson... Imagine Jackson Dart, as good as he is, or someone like that, getting to sit for 4 or 5 years and just suckle at the power teat that is Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and then they go on and you get an opportunity. That's really how you should build quarterbacks. But you can't have a quarterback sitting around till he's 28 years old. It wouldn't happen. But with 20 teams, you could, because there's nowhere else for him to go play.
You know, none of this will ever happen.
No.
So we should just forget it.
It'd be fun. It's too much money.
But I do think that there may be, you know how human beings in the future will look back and they will say, oh my God, there was a time when people just withered and died and there was nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to be a thing in the future, right? In the future, will there be a time where people look back and go, oh my God, you had an NFL with bad quarterbacks? Like, and you let them play? Like, what? What was that like? How bad was
He was
that?
watching Bryce Young play. What?
You know what I mean? Because I think the league could, if it wanted to, create a perfect pool of quarterbacks, but right now it's kind of the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
They don't really regulate that.
Well, and we don't really know
or facilitate that.
And it's so hard to judge. You're operating at less than a 50% hit rate on first round quarterbacks, and it's harder than ever to develop, and it's harder than ever to predict. And
true.
We can all sit here and say that we know this about Fernando Mendoza, or we know this about I don't know, Drew Aller or someone. Like, all you need to know is Drew Aller going into this year. This was supposed to be one of the best quarterback classes we've seen in like years. And you had Klubnik, and you had Drew Aller, and you had Nussmeier, and you had all these guys that were like Arch Manning, right? Oh, suck for Arch Manning, tank for Manning. And you may have a class that has 2 first-round quarterbacks, and neither one of them gave a fart sniff to be a first-round quarterback going into this year, and that's Ty Simpson, who wasn't even guaranteed the job, and Fernando Mendoza, who was an afterthought cast off from Cal. And yet those are probably going to be the 2 first-round quarterbacks. That's how hard it is to mine future NFL quarterbacks. And that's the pool that we're picking from.
Yeah. I like your idea, though, of just like saying screw any other level of football.
Yeah.
We're going to start them at age 8.
Just play NFL style.
And we're going to put them through our NFL system
Yeah.
and groom them.
Imagine, and you see this every year at the Combine, when these guys go in, and they will tell you now guys are getting ready for it, but there are players in their NFL draft prep that are taking a snap from under center for the first time in their life.
Right. Well, Anthony Richardson.
Yes. Had never snapped. There was that infamous one of Cam Newton. I think it was Cam Newton when he got on the board with John Gruden, and Gruden asked him to call a play, and Cam Newton was like, "What?" Gruden's like, "Call a play." And Cam's like, we don't really do that. And Gruden's like, "What? Just any play?" I don't know. We hold up cards or numbers. And Gruden was like, "Oh my God. Like, you had never called a play, never been under center." Now, he was such a freak. He ended up having a very nice NFL career. But imagine if Cam Newton had actually learned to play the position from a young age. Michael Vick, after that dogfighting crap, Michael Vick went to Philadelphia and under Andy Reid, and he said in an interview, "It's the first time I ever actually taught how to play football." You're like, maybe the most talented player I've ever seen in my life was 30 years old before someone taught him how to play quarterback. Imagine if someone would have taught 15-year-old Michael Vick to be a quarterback, what he would have done to that league by the time he hit 22.
All right, well, nothing we're going to do about it today. We've put it out into the ethos. Maybe down the road, okay?
Someone is asking if you really did say that you're in favor of grooming 8-year-old children.
Yeah, that was probably regrettable.
I believe that's correct. If you could go back and try to cut that.
Nah.
No. All right, we're just perennially behind today. It's
one of
just
those
unbelievable. What is wrong with us?
We're talking football. And
Maybe
football's football.
Let's do sports talk next on the Fan. Hey, Fan Madness is back. We would like you to join us Thursday and Friday, March 19th and 20th for the two most exciting days of basketball. We'll be at Tom's Watch Bar in Ailene Casino Resort up there in Ridgefield. All the shows live, including us. Big Sook will be there.
Yes.
You can come and stare him down like you want to kick his ass, size him up.
That is always
He gets that all the time.
one of your favorite things.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Guys do that all the time with you. They walk by.
That's what I first did when I met him.
Yeah, you peacock a little
Size
bit.
him up a little bit.
Yeah, you puff out the chest, you stare him
I
down.
got this.
Put your chin up.
It's like, you ain't that big.
Big Sook. Yeah, right. Mid Sook.
It's brought to you by Window Nation and Ailene. Also, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law. Oh, and video only. I'm seeing sponsors added.
Everyone's getting
They're
on
just
board.
piling on
Let's
board.
go.
So that's March 19th and 20th. We're going to be up at Ailene for our shows, all of our shows, all day on the Fan. So you get your ass up there.
Yeah.
So we are behind two things, college basketball related, real quick before we get to In the News. One is Portland State clinched the regular season
Yes.
championship last night.
Turns out, had they lost that game, there would have been a share of the regular season title, and the Vikings said, nay, nay.
Yeah, and of course, they're in the Big Sky, which is a mean, mean, mean league.
Is it?
No. But they won it for the first time since 2008. So congrats to the Vikes. Yeah. And as we were talking about yesterday on Stockwatch, they still have to win the conference tournament in order to get into the Big Game.
That's what stinks. They had the best year they've had in 18 seasons, and they screw up once here in the postseason in the tournament, and thanks for coming, your season means nothing. I hate that. The Vikings should be in.
And the other thing that we should point out is that your BYU Cougars, although really free-falling this season with the loss of the great Richie Saunders,
yes,
they have signed another 5-star recruit, their third straight class with a 5-star.
My man Bruce.
His name is Bruce.
Yes.
And I don't know his last name. Something like Bain or something?
No, it is Bruce Branch. The third.
Bruce Branch.
Please get it correct. Bruce Branch the third.
I also wanted to add to this about Portland State real quick. They are not even the favorites to win the Big Sky tournament, even though they won the regular season title. Montana State is actually the favorite to win the tournament.
Oh, that stinks.
Really? Where are they playing that tournament?
It's in Idaho or Montana.
Do they go neutral court on that?
It is Idaho. Boise, Idaho.
Yeah, everyone goes on a neutral court.
Yep. They all go up there. They play in Boise. And so Montana State's plus 340. I'm seeing in Portland State plus 400. They are the second team, though.
What happened when they played in the reg season?
Montana State actually did just go to Portland and whooped them.
Ooh.
Or was that it might have been on the road, actually,
Montana
just a couple
State.
days ago.
But I tell you, those Montana schools are pesky good, aren't they?
Yeah.
In everything.
There's nothing else to do up there.
Yeah.
So,
they're serious.
Well, it makes sense. If you are playing, and this is not a shot at the Big Sky, but if that's the level of which you're going to go compete at, would you rather go play football or basketball at Portland State when 9 people are going to go, no one gives 2 F's about you on campus, or would you rather go to Montana State where the stands are packed, you're the king poobah on campus, there's a great environment around it? Like, I think there is a massive advantage for those Montana schools because it's the only game in town, and that community and the school really embraces athletics, where a lot of these other places in the Big Sky, it's, you're a fart in the wind. No one cares.
Yeah, so they split with Montana State. They played them last Thursday, lost by 15 in Montana.
Yeah.
Okay, but they beat them at home.
No, they beat them at home, yeah.
All right. Portland State, a good little bet.
Good little score. Yeah.
Plus 400.
I'm going to throw a little bet on them.
Yeah.
Why not?
And is Bruce Branch, can I ask a question that
is going to get uncomfortable?
Well,
are you asking if he's black?
Yes.
Yeah, he's black.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's working.
He might be mixed.
Okay.
But he's
Where's he from? Bruce Branch.
The
Spruce
some
Bruce.
sort of prep academy.
But where's he live?
I don't know. But he went on ESPN. He did the unzipped jacket, and there's the BYU jersey.
Who did he choose BYU over?
I think Arizona was the other one that was. I mean, he had offers from everyone. So SC, Arizona, Kansas, and BYU were the will he, won't he sort of thing.
Bill?
And then it was like, it's Bruce. Damn it,
break out the wallet,
Bruce.
Bill. No, Bill Self.
Oh, at BYU we can pay, man. We got.
Well, apparently so.
We got that.
It's
Mormon
not like
money.
DeBonce's Mormon.
Well, neither's Bruce.
Duh. Idiot.
He did say it felt right, and he thinks he can win a championship there.
No, he can't.
You're still an idiotic moron
I will say this. I'm going to piss you off, and then we're going to go to break.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Young, your coach.
Yes.
He's not very good.
Yeah, you don't like him.
I mean, he's good. He's recruiting.
He's recruiting.
So that's the first thing. That's the big thing. But they don't. They're kind of soft.
Well,
They don't play much D. They get pushed around by the better teams, evidenced by their record against the better teams. I just got to tell you, if push comes to shove, they get into like the Elite Eight or whatever, and they meet up with, I don't know, Florida or something, dude. Back up the Brinks truck.
You think Elite Eight?
Well, I don't know.
Elite Eight?
You're getting all these good players. At some point, you better do something with them.
Well, they're not. They're gonna be a one and done. All right. We just got our asses kicked by
one and done. Like out in the first round.
This is my prediction.
You think they're gonna lose in the first round?
They have beat one good team all year. And that's Iowa State.
Yeah.
That's their one good win.
Who's overrated?
Everything else is they get down by 20 to the good teams, then they make it respectable at the end.
Yeah.
Saunders is out. They only run like 7 guys out there at a time.
Right.
Like they're just not deep. And now with
Robert Wright's a little overrated too.
He's the guard from Baylor. So now at this point in the season, with the slide, they're going to end up being like a 10 seed.
No.
And they're
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
They are going to go play a hyper athletic 11 seed from some mid-major conference.
So I was watching
that's going to cook us.
I was watching Arizona Iowa State last night, and they put all the Big 12 teams and their seeds on the screen. Now, not to say this can't change it, because it can. They had BYU as a 5.
No.
They were. We're going to start them at age 8 and groom them. Oh, that's terrible.
Because Lenardi.
That's exactly how I expected.
Yeah, that's how you put it.
It did not sound.
I tampered it a little bit.
You did, didn't you?
I did.
You son of a bitch.
But we own you now, so.
Lenardi had him as like a 6 or 7, and this was before the back half slide where they got their ass kicked by Central Florida and West Virginia.
You, last night, they had him as a 5.
Cool, then they'll be the 5-12 upset. Again, they're going to play some hyper
They're going to play Miami of Ohio.
It happens every year, 5-12 upset.
They're going to play some hyper athletic mid-major team that I've never heard of, and they're going to get run off the floor by some team that that just shoots 93s a game.
I'm telling you, if they are 5-12, you hope they play Miami. I'm telling you.
They'll beat Miami.
Because they are not. Miami's not athletic.
Look, BYU is not good. We just have the best player in the
But and see, that's what's going to save you. See, I think they're a sweet. They'll get past the first round because they'll just give the ball to DeBonsa, and nobody in that at
He'll
that
have
level.
his tournament moment.
Yeah, nobody at that level could guard him. But once they, it could be the second round. You start meeting those good, big boy teams. Yeah, you guys are toast.
Look, all I know is when it comes to the NCAA tournament, don't bet on the Mormons. Never goes well. Can we please?
What if they're not Mormon?
Can we please play the Rob grooming drop again? I need that. I need more of that.
No.
I don't have it. I'd play it. I don't have it.
Steven does.
We're going to start them at age 8 and groom them. Yeah, you can hear the edit in that.
I know. I tried to fix as much as I could.
You ass.
Try it again, please.
Nah. All right. That's college basketball talk. Out of
Go
nowhere.
Portland State.
Yeah. What if the Vikes get BYU?
They're going to get drubbed.
Who? BYU or
No,
the
Portland
Vikes?
State.
Yeah,
DeBance is really good.
Yeah, they can't handle him.
He's really, really good.
Kansas handled him.
Yeah, but we made it respectable at the end. Don't
Just
worry about
saying.
it. That's what we do.
All right. In the news is coming up next. We have more very hot and controversial daylight saving time talk. Here's Steven.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar is in trouble again. He tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug for the second straight season. Last year, he had an 80-game ban and only played in 4 games in 2025 after he signed a 3-year, $42 million deal, and now he'll miss the entire 2026 season because of testing positive again for performance-enhancing drugs. Adam Schefter, he's reporting that the Cardinals are going to cut quarterback Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins. Barring a trade, Murray was already guaranteed almost $37 million for the 2026 season, was set to make a guaranteed $19.5 million for 2027 if he was still on the roster by March 16. Indianapolis Colts, they are hanging on to Daniel Jones, it seems, as they put the transition tag on the quarterback. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market. And if Jones doesn't get signed a competing offer sheet, he would earn a 1-year guaranteed salary worth $37.8 million. couple notable players in the NFL who were not franchise tagged and will now become free agents. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker III, Jags running back Travis Etienne, Colts receiver Alec Pearson, Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, all will become free agents. And the 2026 World Baseball Classic begins pool play tomorrow. USA, they start their games on Friday. And team manager Mark DeRosa announced he has set the rotation for that pool play. It'll be Logan Webb on Friday, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, Paul Skeens on Monday, and then Nolan McClain on Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
a.m.
I love this time of year because Soup just gave me his 15 if qualifier that if the Mets are good, these 15 things go right. You know, you never know. I love that. I'll be doing that with the Royals tomorrow. Don't get me wrong.
Well, you're the one that started this by crapping all over Nolan McLean.
Well,
Is he one of the 15?
Dude, if that guy blows it for Team USA, I am going to be livid.
Is he out of the country?
What?
You tried to deport him.
Yeah, if he's bad.
Him and his red goatee.
Calling ice.
Yeah. Well, we got plenty of that you can call on. Our team is diverse. Got some Dominican.
We're going to start them at age 8 and groom them. Tell you what.
Even better. That's a great edit.
I think Pirates be damned. They suck anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Pitch Paul Skeens every inning.
Just blow out the
He'd
arm.
probably still be better.
Well, Scooble said he's only going to pitch one
I
game.
know, and that's bullshit too.
So I think they got, Scooble for a game, Skeens, Logan Webb is going to pitch for him, McLean.
One of these things is not like the other.
5-1, 2.06 ERA.
It is March 3, 2026. It's time now for In the News. I'm your Notre Newsman. Hello, thank you. Bro.
You want Clay Holmes to start instead? Because we can
Please, God, no.
we can offer that up for you. Another great Met starting pitcher.
It's brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. Please be seated. Thank you. If you are seated, please stand. Please rise in my honor. You just don't have to do that. I was just kidding. I'm not a judge or anything. Although I'm getting close to being one.
Getting close to your judgeship. I don't think that's the way that works, but all right. Oh. My dad tried to be a judge twice. Didn't get elected, though.
I know how to mess with the ballots.
those voting machines.
I've learned a lot in these last 4 years.
I'm not certain that the 1995 judicial elections in Anchorage, Alaska were tampered with.
10 years.
The old man just didn't quite get the push.
12 years? Anyway, it is National Sportsmanship Day, so be kind in sports.
Remember those commercials where the basketball player, he's like, "Coach, I touched it." And all the other kids hate him. They give the ball to the other team.
Yeah.
Those were always ridiculous.
He admitted
to
Coach, making the losing play.
It. Really, the coach
never admit to making the losing play.
We know how that would go in real life.
Idiot.
That coach would tell that kid to shut the hell up and sit down. It's our ball, son. Let's go win this bitch.
Nah.
Then after the game, when someone asks you, you're like, "Hey, I don't make those calls. The way I saw it, it looked pretty good to me."
It is also National Moscow Mule Day. Good little cocktail.
Yeah.
If you need a little refreshing
I don't mind
cocktail.
a good Moscow Mule every now and then.
I only order them in the summer, but that's a nice drink.
I got some copper mugs at my place, and you always tell yourself you're going to make them. I never do. But
That's so true. I have 2 copper mugs as well, and I've never...
I like drinking out of them, but I never drink.
Well, then you got to have ginger beer.
Yeah,
Who has ginger beer?
Yeah, that's the thing. Or you do have ginger beer that's been in your pantry for like 7 years.
For that Moscow Mule you had 7 years ago?
Pretty much.
Lots of rain coming. It may be raining out there right now. I don't know. I can't tell.
You had a golf game tomorrow morning, and I looked at it. Was like, you know what? We just rain check this one. Like, we're good.
We had a nice weekend last weekend, but
weekend.
lots of rain coming. They say tomorrow is going to be very wet here in the metro area.
That usually is what happens when the rain comes. I saw maybe up to an inch.
Wow. Yeah. How about that? An inch.
Again, doesn't seem like much, but as we've learned from a few clubs ago, an inch can be quite a bit.
0.38.
0.38.
3 times the size of that young man's.
Look it up.
All right. So where are we starting? Oh, daylight saving time.
When is that? Is that this weekend?
Sunday, yeah. Saturday night, Sunday.
Spring forward.
We are going to spring forward, Jace.
Now, is that the official start of spring? Are we confirming
well, that I don't know. I don't know that. But
you would think maybe as the noted newsman that you would.
Well, I'm not a weatherman.
Don't you live next door?
I'm a newsman. No, he moved.
Oh.
He moved on up. Deluxe apartment.
Moving on up.
That guy.
To the east side.
The Canadian province of British Columbia is adopting permanent daylight saving time this Sunday.
Oh. So
what that means is, come November, when we jump back, because we jump back, Washington, your state of Washington, will then be behind Vancouver, BC, all of BC.
So when you cross the border there at the Peace Arch,
that's correct.
You will go back in time?
Yes.
Now, what happens? Riddle me this. Because Point Roberts is that little inlet up there in Canada. There is a piece of the United States that you can only get to by driving through British Columbia. And so you drive into, you have to drive up into Canada, and then you drive over, and then this little thing, you cross over the border, and you're in Point Roberts, Washington, but you're in Canada.
Okay.
So if I drive north, then I'm an hour back, but then I drive into Point Roberts. Does it kick forward? Because it's part of the state of Washington.
Because if if it's governed by Washington, you are now back in time.
Boy, that is bizarre.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's a little strange.
This says, according to the province's Ministry of Attorney General, the Interpretation Amendment Act, which became law in 2019, was not enforced to coordinate timing with neighboring U.S. states in the same time zone. Now, the province says that due to recent U.S. actions, it has shifted its approach to decisions that merit alignment, including on time zones.
How about that?
Boy, purpose pitch.
Yeah. Arizona does that too against us, right? Arizona's got the permanent.
Well, they've always, them in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Well, Hawaii, they do it differently. Yeah. Now,
by the way, March 20th, the official start of spring.
When clocks spring forward this Sunday, Seattle and Vancouver will be on the same time until November. Seattle and Vancouver, BC,
yes.
not Washington. When daylight savings time ends on November 1st, the Pacific Northwest will fall back an hour, meaning Vancouver and the rest of British Columbia will be an hour ahead of Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, and a portion of Idaho.
Remember there was that talk of us adopting permanent, but only if Washington, Oregon, and California get on the same page?
Correct.
So that would be weird if
Oregon, I think they should.
If one did it, and like the idea of Washington and Oregon, especially for us people that live in Washington and work in Oregon, that would be very strange.
Well, so Washington did pass this law back in 2019 for permanent daylight saving time, but it can't go into effect without the approval of Congress. Yeah. You know them, Congress.
I'm familiar. They don't do anything.
And they have consistently failed to bring that issue to a full vote. So the only two U.S. states where people will not have to adjust their clocks are, of course, Arizona and Hawaii. So thanks a lot, Vancouver.
Well, the idea that I could cross over a bridge and then be in a different time zone is really dumb.
So it's 9:30. Yeah. You cross over the bridge.
Yeah.
It's 10:30. You cross back over the bridge on the other side. It's 9:30.
The amount of times that I would be an hour late or early to something, staggering amount.
You'd have to stay in the Washington
It would be very
zone.
Strange, yes.
Well, this is a very Portland story for you. A Portland man is being held without bail after police say he groped a woman outside a Southeast Portland market.
Yeah, can't do that.
According to court documents, police were called to KS Market at Southeast 152nd and Division. A woman told police she had just exited a food cart on the property to enter the market when she noticed a man with a bloodied beard wearing a dress.
Well, I can't think of anything more disturbing than a bloody beard in a dress. That's not good.
He was watching her. As she walked past him, he grabbed her buttocks with both hands and then ran away.
All right. Let me state this. In no way am I condoning bloody beard guy in the dress grabbing ass. But
do we need to hear this?
Come on, dude. I'm just saying, if you told me that a man in a dress with a bloody beard attacked a woman outside of a food cart and all that happened was an ass grab and then he ran away, that's the best possible scenario.
Nah.
That could have ended so much worse. Because when you hear food cart, assault, man, dress, bloody beard, that doesn't end with a butt grab, although it was two hands and that could be aggressive. That does not end with two grabs and a run. That usually ends with something much, much worse.
Well, in a stunning turn of events, they corroborated her story with video.
Yeah.
And then they found the guy at Kentucky Fried Chicken, a couple of blocks away.
So after
a nice piece of chicken.
Yeah, after an assault, you just got hungry for a strong bird.
Joel Thomas Faith, he is 39 years old. They will charge him with third-degree sexual abuse and harassment. Both are misdemeanors, but he does have a warrant out for his arrest. He was a stalker.
This is why
So
I understand you can't do this, but this is another guy that just doesn't need to be around us anymore. He really doesn't. So he's a stalker, He's an ass grabber. He's bloody bearded guy. He likes chicken. It's the only normal thing about him. You know he's just going to keep doing these sorts of things. We need an island somewhere. He shouldn't get to be around us. This man is not going to be integrated into society anytime soon.
Yeah, the bloody, like, the dress?
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
That's the least of my worries.
Yeah, the bloody beard.
Yeah, it's not good.
What is going on there?
I don't know. But when you add it, the dress dress on its own, not necessarily.
Then you add groping and a restraining order.
And the chicken.
And the chicken.
That's finger licking
We
good.
have issues.
Yeah, it's just.
By the way, this reminds me. Well, we got a break. Okay, we'll be right back on The Fan in the News. Bye.
1080 AM.
So while we were talking about bloodied beard groper guy with the dress, I was just thinking in my head, I'm like, this guy's crazy. Like, to your point of, like, banish. Like, there's nothing you can do with guys like this.
We know where this is going.
Yeah. So I was
good.
thinking about a new show that I started watching.
Yeah.
And I will spare you now as we are out of time, but I did put it in my notes to the club. I think we have a new Tiger King.
Really?
Yes. Yes. I just, that's all I'm going to say.
What?
I'll tell you what I think it is in the club.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just documenting people like these people are freaking crazy.
Yes. And this is,
so there's really no storyline other than, oh my God, they're off their rocker and I can't take my eyes off of it.
See, I'm saying, like, I understand that what this guy did doesn't warrant life in punishment by our, life in prison by our punishment scale. But remember that guy that was always on the Max train and he was like cutting people's hair and like sniffing people and putting body fluid on them? We should be able to get together like Survivor. Think about that. We need a reality show where we as a community just get together and we get to vote you off the island. And we're like, you know what? You're not in prison, but you don't get to be here anymore. We've collectively decided no. Like society moves better without you, so you're just here.
Or does it?
You're just over. It does. What is that guy's name? What is that dip S's name? This guy?
Who?
The guy's bloody beard guy?
Oh, I don't remember. I closed out the story. You want his name?
I'm just that guy. Like if he just is gone, and I'm sure his family can go visit him on the island somewhere, but no one's going to be like, you know what I really miss?
Who's going to go visit that island?
I don't know. Not me. But
what if I paid you $5 million?
I'm good.
Like your island idea comes to life, and then you got to go visit the island.
Yeah, what if we put you in? His name was Joel Thomas Faith.
Good.
39 years old.
Out there.
Joel Faith.
That's what they used to do to Australia, and that seemed to work out okay. It's a lovely place now. Maybe a couple generations now, it turns great, but dude, nice dress and bloody beard guy. Hey, you're grabbing people? Cool. Here's the boat and go that way.
And finally, a hotel on the downtown Portland waterfront that tumbled into financial tumult. I love that word. Has sold for $30.1 million, less than half its prior sale price.
Yeah.
Jason.
A lot of those happening lately.
The Portland Marriott downtown waterfront has sold to New York City-based Sculptor Capital Management and Los Angeles-based Tamarack Capital Partners.
63% discount.
Yeah, they got that thing for $30 million.
Well,
now, do you think they'll do anything cool with it?
Look, I'm guessing if you buy a place at that discounted rate, yeah, you're buying low. Fix it up and
A hotel, you think? I mean, I've been in there. You've been in there?
It's been forever.
It's years. Yeah, it's. Yeah, there was no reason to really.
But
it's a great location.
Perfect location. I'm guessing that in a lot of these cities, if you're one of these billion-dollar investors, like with the Big Pink and what the Ritz right now that's basically for sale, why wouldn't you just buy that? And the idea that those prices are going to come back up, they always do.
All right.
I don't know, either that or you just make your own. Imagine making that into your residence. By Marriott.
Well, you could make it apartments or something.
Yeah, renovate it a little bit. Just don't make them. In a shocking development, people don't want $2 million apartments in Portland.
I have an idea. Low-income housing.
Yeah, that's not.
What do you think about that?
That's not going to happen.
Maybe move the ice building in there.
They're looking for a place.
That's in the news, March 3, 2026.
Maybe Bloody Beard guy can get one of the corner units.
It's brought to you by the Advocates, injury attorneys at advocateslaw.com. We've got headlines coming up next on The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, ESPN's Adam Schefter. He is reporting that the Cardinals are going to be cutting quarterback Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins, barring a trade to another team. Murray was already guaranteed just under $37 million for 2026 and was set to be guaranteed another $19.5 million for 27 if he was on the roster by March 16th. Indianapolis Colts, they're using the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market. And if Jones does not sign a competing offer sheet, he will earn a one-year guaranteed salary of $37.8 million. A couple notable players in the NFL who were not franchise tagged will now become free agents. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker III, Jags running back Travis Etienne, Colts receiver Alec Pierce, and Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson all will become free agents. Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar, he tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug again. This follows an 80-game ban just 4 games into 2025 where he tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug. Profar signed a 3-year, $42 million deal in 2025, played 4 games last year, will miss the entire 2026 season. And the 2026 World Baseball Classic begins pool play on Wednesday. USA starts on Friday, and manager Mark DeRosa announced the rotation for the pool play will be Logan Webb on Friday, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, Paul Skeens on Monday, and Nolan McLean on Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
Fan.
All right, welcome back. Hope you're having a nice little Tuesday. We are your sportsmen. My name is Isaac, and Big Sook is right over there.
Right here.
Look at him. LaVon James on the controls. He has once again bet on Miami of Ohio tonight. It's unbelievable the run he's on with the Red Hawks. Last I checked, they were covering. Although I don't know now.
They're not now. They're only up by 3.
Oh,
Toledo's
no.
coming back.
It's kind of fun when you blindly bet. I was on this, I do this with the Ravens in preseason. It's fun when you just have a standing, you know what, I'm throwing a sawbuck down on these guys.
Well, it was, so they almost lost the Horsies.
Yeah.
Last week.
The Western Michigan Horsies.
And I couldn't remember. And I was actually on the Horsies. So I won that bet. So I thought, you know what? You had your challenge. Now you come back at home, have a big game. But so far, not looking great right now.
Well, a lot of game left. It's down to 1. So I was reading an article about Miami, and they are an absolute one-off.
Yeah.
Because the numbers say that they are the worst undefeated team ever. So
it's kind of impressive. It's like
it
being
really
king
is.
of the dip-esses.
I mean, it's crazy. Like Steven said yesterday, there is a team that is actually in their league that is a better favorite to win their league tournament.
Yeah, like
than them.
Akron has the best offense and the best defense in the conference.
But
Miami is undefeated.
This article I was reading said that there's really never been anything like this. So if you go back to like the old Gonzaga, all the Gonzaga teams, they're in the West Coast Conference, okay, and they're a small school, but they're consistently one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah.
They brought up Wichita State. Do you remember when Wichita State went on a run?
That. Yeah.
They went on a run, went undefeated in the Missouri Valley, and they were, by all metrics, they were a top 15 team in the country. They were just good. Yeah. And as Stephen pointed out during the break, we were talking about him, they had Fred VanVleet on their team. Yeah. So last I checked, he played a little ball in the NBA, I think, maybe.
Still there?
Not for your Portland Trailblazers.
No.
But they had 2 pros on that team. This team, Miami, is 84th in Ken Palm.
It's got nothing.
And they're undefeated. Well, it's the damnedest thing.
I just love that Vaughn is just waiting for them he needs them to be undefeated so that he can load up his biggest bet of the year in the first round of the playoffs against
Well,
them.
don't think we're not tailing that, because we're going to be out at A.
I love a good show bet, and we're
on that.
We all need to be rooting for this.
I'm way too invested in this right
yes.
Not that the odds makers wouldn't build that into the line. Something tells me they may have an idea that Miami sucks.
Yeah. But you know the general public will see undefeated.
Yes.
And we'll
That's
get
exactly right.
we'll get a sports bone over it, and they'll be undefeated.
So we may have to bet it late, right? Because
Yeah.
when the line first comes out, Vegas knows plus 10. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
But
Miami's going to be plus 10, and all these
I can't wait till they play BYU in the first round. It's going to be so good.
and all these morons are going to look at that and go, "Oh my God, they're undefeated! How can they be 10-point underdogs?" And they're going to load up, and the spread's going to come down to 7, and we're going to load up on the other team, and we're going to win billions.
And then BYU rolls them. Let's go, Cougs.
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Portland State has won its first Big Sky regular season title since 2008. 2008.
Yeah, it's been 18 years.
How about that? Go Vikings. And by the way, that Portland State coach comes primetime producer recommended for the Oregon State job.
Yes.
Whatever his name is. The
Jace
dean,
Coburn.
What's his name?
Jace Coburn.
Yeah.
Jace. Let's go, Jace.
The dean of SEC ADs, Mitch Barnhart, is retiring. You may remember him as he was once the AD at Oregon State.
Where's he at now?
Kentucky.
Oh.
He's been at Kentucky for several years. He is now calling it quits.
Do we know? Just
Well, he's old.
okay. Usually they don't give up those jobs. I think those are kind of cush jobs. Although maybe now, much like the coaches, maybe just being an AD now is just a pain in the ass with all that crap you got to deal with.
Maybe Kentucky will hire Scott Barnes away from the Oregon State pipeline.
I think Oregon State would be very happy to let that happen. Did you see any of the belligerent beaver stuff that came out about that?
No.
Remember that that there was that back and forth and the belligerent beaver, who is like an online, it's like anonymous for Oregon State. There's do some digging into that. It's really, really bad. The fact that Scott Barnes still has a job is quite shocking.
Okay, wait. Can we talk about this next segment?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
I'd like to ask questions about this.
Okay.
Because I don't know. You're saying they're anonymous?
Well, it's an online group that is digging in. It's like a beaver fan page sort of thing.
But we don't know who's behind it?
I don't know if I don't necessarily think it's anonymous. It's a group of people that are trying to hold Oregon State accountable.
Are they belligerent?
They are the belligerent beavers.
I don't know their names, but their names are out there.
Yeah.
I've heard them talk.
And so this is legitimate?
Yes. They filed public records requests.
Yeah.
And how Scott Barnes has a job is kind of...
Well, I want to hear some of it.
It's kind of shocking.
The Oregon State baseball team has started rather slow. They are 6-4.
Yeah.
They are playing at Oregon tonight.
Yeah, the Duckies actually are off to a better start than the Beavs.
The Ducks are 10-1, and I think they've actually started. I was going to look up the score and I forgot.
Yeah, the game's underway.
Who do we got?
I don't know that.
Yeah, nice.
It's 7-1 Oregon State.
Beavers, how about that?
7-1.
Top of 6.
Dominating those schmucks. How about that? What do you think about that?
How about that?
Is that on the Fan Sports Network since we have the Ducks?
It's got to be.
I would assume it's probably over on 1080. Would be my
Nice.
guess.
Go listen to it if you want to.
Don't do that. Stay right here.
So, yeah, that's going on. And then the big news in sports is that the Cardinals are going to release quarterback Kyler Murray next week, barring a trade.
Yeah.
They owe him $37 million this year.
Yeah, they by doing the post like start of the year, they saved like $19 million on it, but because now they get to spread it out over 2 years. I think it's $54 million that they owe him over the next 2 years, but they're going to be able to break it up into two years. So massive cap hit, $50+ million they're going to have to eat. If the Dolphins were to release Tua, it's even worse. It's like $90+ million. So, and that is expected also to happen because no one wanted to trade for Kyler Murray and no one wanted to trade for Tua.
Okay, we've got sports audio coming up of the world's youngest coach. But then we're also going to talk, Suk's going to tell you why Scott Barnes should not have a job. Because
someone just did some digging and did some public requests of Oregon State. And that whole blueprint NIL thing where their assistant AD resigned but still got paid, it looks worse and worse. And it's kind of shocking that Scott Barnes has managed to keep his job.
I'm very confident.
yeah. We'll get to that next on The Fan.
Dirt.
I'm talking to America here.
Okay, so coming up in a moment, a radio moment, I'm going to tell you about the youngest coach in the world.
What was that movie, Little Big League, where the owner dies and like he lets his grandson take over the Minnesota Twins? It's like a 10-year-old manager.
Great movie, yeah.
Was that the same kid that played the pitcher?
No, that was Rookie of the Year. I think.
Who was that kid? Henry
Rowan Gardner was the character. I have no idea.
He was the guy who played. He was in American Pie. What was his name?
That kid was in American
Really?
Pie?
Yeah, he was.
That was Jason Biggs?
No, Jason Biggs is his friend. Kevin.
He was the pie effer?
He was not. No.
Oh.
He was the guy who dated Tara Reid.
Oh, okay. That's Henry Rowan Gardner?
Yeah.
I can't say I knew that. Yeah. They don't make the kids sports movies like they used to.
Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those that came out. Of course, the great Air Bud and MVP, most valuable primate.
His name is Thomas Ian Nicholas.
Yeah. That was Gary Busey played a Major League Baseball player in that movie. Is all you need to know.
That's true. I forgot about
Yes,
that.
he played like a Goose Gossage-esque character.
I watched that movie within the last 4 months because my kid. I was like, let's watch this, kids.
This
They didn't
guy,
hate it.
Thomas Ian Nicholas, now looks like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Does he really?
Yeah.
What's his name? Thomas Nicholas?
Anyway, will you tell us why
Oh,
Scott Barnes
yeah. So
shouldn't have a job?
do yourself a favor. If you go
No,
on,
I want your synopsis.
I am going to summarize this for you. But if you go along on Twitter, right? Go follow. Like Angie Machado has this. Carrie Eggers has been covering it. But there's a group called Belligerent Beavers. It's an account on Twitter, and they are pissed. And they want to hold Oregon State accountable. And they did some public records requests. And there's like a 4-page email summary that comes out. So main characters, Kyle Bjorkstrand was the guy that owned Damnation Collective, right? He was the guy that was originally in charge of that. And once the NIL was able to become in-house, right, they were going to bring him on board to run their NIL, right? Because you could now buy those things up, and schools were joining forces because it used to have to be separate. And this is around that same time that the Blueprint sports deal came out, which turned out to be the worst deal in the history of collectives, right? Well, Kyle Bjorkstrand has proof that he had a better deal lined up to sell the damn collective to Oregon State, an actual deal that would have benefited Oregon State. And for no reason other than seemingly some back channels, it makes you question things. They ignored it, threw him out, kind of hung him out to dry. He ended up resigning because he was pissed. And instead of taking the much, much better deal with a company called, I think it was Lockverse, that would have run Oregon State's NIL, they ignored that and went with this Blueprint sports deal, lied about it, misrepresented it in media, covered the whole thing up, and then paid their assistant AD, who was the one kind of negotiating all this, paid him to just go away, even though he resigned. And yet Scott Barnes is still somehow standing through all of this.
And Brent Brlaylock, who was the guy who resigned,
yes,
he had a prior relationship with Blueprint Sports with Arizona, and so there was some back channeling there. And
so it certainly appears that they took a much, much worse deal for no reason other than relationships, screwed over the guy who was running their collective, screwed over the university, made them look like a bunch of clowns that was nationally mocked, and then got money to basically quit and go away, which normally when you quit, you don't get severance pay. And yet Scott Barnes has not been held accountable for this and is just being like, oh, everything's fine. And so their point is, this should alone be worth not only getting fired, but maybe even fired for cause. When you purposely take a worse deal and then lie about it and try to cover it up, if that's not worth being fired for cause, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
And there's way, if you read through it, but I'm not going to, if you're not an Oregon State fan, you don't really care about all the details, but it's a pretty lengthy read, but if you read it, you will be like, oh, it certainly gives the idea that either this was one hand scratching a back, or maybe even it makes you wonder, were there other kickbacks going on? Because the two deals placed in front of you, there's no way anyone with a sane brain would take the Blueprint sports deal. And yet Oregon State took it and then lied about it.
Wow. Okay.
It's not good.
Doesn't sound good, but nothing's going to come of it. So
No, it just feels like I don't know what's going on over there, but Scott Barnes, I know he's got a good relationship with the president, so either that's the case or they don't care or whatever, but he seems to just kind of get a free pass, and he makes more money than anyone in his position by far.
He's also hired Trent Bray, which was not a good hire. Yeah. Like, he hasn't done a good job hiring people as well.
And now he gets to hire the new basketball coach.
Who's his best hire?
Canham.
He hired
Mitch Canham.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was with the Mariners, I want to say. Mariners organization, he hired him away from Seattle.
Well, no, he hired Jonathan Smith. That was a pretty good hire.
Good hire.
They were in a bad way.
Yes.
And Jonathan Smith got that thing corrected.
So he's made a couple good hires.
But he was also the one that was overseeing, and not that it was his fault, but he was also one of the dip-esses that was leaking to the media that the Pac-12 was going to be fine. And, there was a local reporter that was telling anyone that would listen that the Pac-12 was going to be fine because he was getting it from Scott Barnes.
I'm very confident.
Yeah.
Scott Barnes was the one telling him, oh, no, Pac-12 is going to be fine and we're not going anywhere. So the fact that you got left out in the cold, while it does stink, the fact that that happened on your watch and you
thought that?
And you thought that? I mean, it's and I don't have anything personally against Scott Barnes, but at some point, when's enough? And this, when I read through this 4-page thing, the public request, and this isn't my opinion, it's just fact. They have the requests and the emails. It's kind of shocking that no one over there looks at this and goes to him and says, can you explain this? Because it sure feels like you did us all dirty and then lied about it. Like, your job as an athletic director is to put us in the best possible place with NIL. And not only did you not put us in the best place, it feels like you and your assistant, AD, that has now stepped down, purposely screwed us over. I don't get how that's not, how you're not being held accountable for that.
Well, it sounds like maybe it's a rudderless ship over there outside of Barnes. Maybe there's not a lot of checks and balances for him.
Could be.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know how else to.
Yeah, if no one else cares, I mean, you're just there,
Yeah,
you make a bunch of money, and they don't want to buy you out. Maybe
he somehow has the trust of the president.
Yeah,
and so maybe that's enough to he can just do whatever he wants.
Yeah. A Burt Cold situation.
Guys, move on.
Sorry, Neil.
By the way, we're getting some text messages from people out in the ethos in Radioland.
Yeah,
and they are saying that the mother in Little Big League is the actual mom of the great Pete Crow Armstrong.
Get right the hell out of town.
Who is a stud for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah. Ashley Crow. Well, I'll be damned. I had no idea. 65 still looks pretty good. Love those redheads.
Nah.
Yeah?
No,
yeah.
I can't do that, no. Okay, enough about the Beavs.
Isn't it funny, too, that Gary Busey in the movie played a Goose Gossage-esque character, and here we are all these years later where Gary Busey is insane and making goose noises? Full circle.
All right, coming up next, the world's youngest coach, complete with audio. But first, Steven, the Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the Cardinals are going to be cutting Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins. Barring a trade, Murray was already guaranteed $36.8 million for 2026 and was set to be guaranteed another $19.5 million for 27 if he was still on the roster by March 16th, but that will not happen. Indianapolis Colts, they're using the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market. If Jones does not sign a competing offer sheet, he would earn a one-year guaranteed salary of $37.8 million. There's a couple of notable players in the NFL who are not franchise tagged and will now become free agents, including Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III, Jaguars running back Travis Etienne, Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce, and Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar, he tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug again. He tested positive last year as well, had an 80-game ban, just played in 4 games in 2025, and this year he will miss the entire 2026 season. And the World Baseball Classic begins pool play on Wednesday. USA, they start up on Friday. Manager Mark DeRosa announced that he has set the rotation for the pool play. Logan Webb on Friday, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, Paul Skeens on Monday, and Nolan McLean next Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George Okoye Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George Okoye at WarrenAllen.com.
The Fan is live
Okay, I'm going to... this isn't necessarily sad, but it's kind of sad.
So
it's kind of sad.
It's sad.
Well, you're going to think it's adorable at first.
Okay.
Because the videos are adorable. But it's also like, what? What are we doing?
All right.
So we've got some audio here. I'm going to play it for yous guys out there in Radio Land.
Use people.
And where is it? And then we'll talk about it. But this kid has gone viral. He is 6 years old.
Okay.
His name is Chris Bess. He's from Tarboro, North Carolina, and he is the son of a high school basketball coach named Reggie Bess. And Coach CB, as they call Chris, the little kid, he has gone viral for his sideline antics
I see it here.
as the world's youngest coach.
He's scared to get the rebound. He's scared to get the rebound.
In Tarboro, North Carolina,
We have to make sure. We have to have no game.
there are technically 2 Coach Besses for the high school basketball team. Should I call you Coach Chris, Little Coach Chris?
Whatever you want to call me.
All right, I like calling you Coach Chris. Coach Reggie Bess is the head coach for the men's team, and over the past few years, his now 6-year-old son, Chris, has become famous both on social media and in town for his coaching role.
What do you like to do with the guys?
Coach him.
Coach them?
It's an honor.
Reggie says Chris started mimicking him on the sidelines even before he could talk, and it grew from there. Now it's at the point where Chris likes to dress as a coach even when he's at home, which Mom loves.
He'll go get a Nike sweatsuit 2 or 3 times throughout the night or throughout the day. He'll switch out. And she's like, Chris, what are you doing? You got me washing all these clothes.
Of course, Chris has much more freedom in practice, but on game days,
What y'all got going on? Making me look bad.
Chris usually stays near an assistant coach at the end of the bench and has the important job of bringing Dad his clipboard and marker when it's time to draw up plays.
Sometimes during the game, we have to tell him to get off the court. You know, telling Christopher that on game day is like talking to a brick wall.
You're a football player, and you're getting out there acting like you don't know what you're doing.
And while at this point, Reggie can often predict what Coach Chris is going to say,
Big time players make big time plays in big time games.
he still has a challenge for his son as he chases his dreams of one day becoming head coach too.
You know, you got a young son that wants to be like you when he grows up. And like I tell him, I don't want him to be like me. I want him to be better.
Now, Reggie says he does think about retirement sometimes, but Chris says he's simply not allowed to for at least another decade, so he has a chance to coach Chris one day. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? He's 6.
Nah.
Does he really want to follow in his dad's footsteps, or has he basically cloned his kid?
Yeah. That and I don't look.
You know what I mean?
Anytime I hear these stories, the fact that, and I looked it up, the kid's got a TikTok channel, he's got an Instagram.
He's pretty funny on the side.
He's famous.
Yeah, he's famous. Is that really healthy for a 6-year-old? Also, too, when that kid actually tries to play, how insufferable is that kid when he's actually getting coached? Also, too, at some point, if I'm a player on that team, it's cute when a 4-year-old, he's been doing this since he was 4. When a 7-year-old is barking at me and in the midst of a game, someone's going to tell that kid to shut the bleep up. Like, it's...
If he's trying to tell me to rebound, I'm not
Well,
going to.
he called it. You heard the one clip in there
Yeah.
where he turned to the kid and goes, "You're a something tall player,
Yeah.
and you act like you don't know what you're doing."
Yeah, that's you're just...
I think it's great if it's genuine. If it's a genuine thing where he he idolizes his dad and he wants to, I think that's awesome. But it doesn't seem like it is.
How could it be at 6 years
It
old?
does not seem like it.
doesn't
You know what I
seem
mean?
like it feels like the dad is obviously doing bits, and that's fine. But at some point, you got to be careful. At some point, the kid's a kid, and you're not a coach. And I think that's a dangerous mentality to have, where you have someone that is completely unqualified in every shape and form to understand anything, and yet he's
just mimicking,
and he thinks he's an authority figure. That can get weird.
but he's just mimicking his dad,
yeah.
and so I would imagine they just
I
laugh and
I hope it's cute, and then eventually here over the next year or so, this stops, and you have to. But someone's gonna have to sit down and tell him, dude, you can't do this. Like, you're not a coach. You're a little kid. So please stop and just be a kid.
Well, it did say at the end there that he pretty much all he does is hands his dad the clipboard.
Yeah.
But for the sake of the
Yeah.
going viral,
Yeah.
he does
Yeah.
pace up and down the sideline,
does.
and he does
Yeah.
yell about the game. And
I just know that I know it's high school, but I played high school sports, obviously, and I took them seriously and was able to go on and do something. And if I was on the sidelines and I came off the field as an offensive lineman and there was a 6-year-old there that was barking at me, I wouldn't think that that's funny, nor would I think it's cute. That would.
What if he's a badass coach?
Yeah, something's
Like he's drawing up sick plays in the huddle.
Something's gonna.
Wow, he's like a savant. He's like Beethoven.
You're 6. There's nothing worse than someone that doesn't know what they're doing trying to tell you. You ever get that? Like, I mean, you're a golfer. You're a good golfer. Do you ever get unsolicited golf tips?
Ooh, what do you mean? Like somebody says, "Hey, your left hand is
dropping your shoulder."
Yeah, there's nothing worse than unsolicited advice.
Most golf guys know not to.
Okay, that's good.
That. Even good players won't.
Yeah, because
unless asked.
Yeah, because it happens in the gym or it happens in a boxing gym or on the mat. The amount of unsolicited advice from people that literally have no idea what they're doing, it's kind of alarming, and you just. Be careful having a kid barking out advice.
We're going to start him at age 8. Oh, no. Damn it.
It's cute to a point.
Yeah, it's kind of cute, but also I just think that's kind of sad. I think that's more about the dad than it is the kid.
It's the next baby Gronk.
Yes.
And it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Don't do that to your kids.
And that's I just feel like any time you mentioned the baby Gronk thing.
No.
At some point, just you're exploiting the kid.
I mean, he was doing collabs with Livy Dunn.
Yeah. I promise you that kid's going to crash and burn in the worst possible way. Every now and then I see that baby Gronk kid pop up, and he's like in junior high now or whatever, and that kid is going to be – and hopefully they made some money and the dad doesn't steal it all, but, dude, that kid is going to crash and burn in the worst possible way.
All right, the real reason Floyd Mayweather is back next
Money
on The Fan.
It's time for a Ducks Report, the inside story on Ducks athletics.
Yeah, well, the old Pacquiao-Mayweather money grab has been announced.
Well, he's got the Tyson money grab, too. Don't forget about that.
Oh, that's right. He's got two, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Mayweather. Yeah, so apparently Mayweather needs money, and that should not shock anyone.
Well,
based on how he used to flaunt his money.
Yeah, he lived his whole life talking about how I think he made more money than anyone in boxing history, but I think he also spent more money than anyone in boxing.
How much do you think he made?
I looked it up because he's got a lawsuit. He's suing his promotion company for a couple $100 million, but I think he made close to $1 billion.
Yeah, it says Mayweather sued his now defunct broadcast partner Showtime and its ex-president, Steven Espinoza, claiming they, with the help of Mayweather's former advisor, Al Heyman, concealed and diverted revenue from his earnings through boxing. In the suit, Mayweather alleges breach of contract, fiduciary duty, and unjust enrichment, seeking $340 million in damages.
Yeah, he made somewhere between, they're estimating, because some of those fight purses are, because of pay-per-view, it's hard to know exactly what it was, but he made somewhere between 1.1 and 1.2 billion dollars. But he also, his whole thing was Money Mayweather, and that dude spent like you wouldn't believe, and he denies it, but there's some reports that he's in financial duress, and he claims it's all lies, but he's been taken to court and he's got liens on some properties.
Yeah, so this says the suit follows an explosive investigation from Business Insider that suggests Mayweather's supposedly vast wealth may be overstated, noting liens, debt, foreclosures, and leveraged assets like property and a private jet. The December story painted a messy picture, alleging Mayweather took out millions in new mortgages in 2025, while 2 commercial properties were foreclosed and his Las Vegas strip club building faces tax delinquency. Creditors reportedly chased Mayweather over unpaid jet fuel and a disputed $1.2 million Maybach vehicle. Business Insider reported he sold his Gulfstream plane as well as major homes. He settled more than $28 million in IRS-backed taxes amid lawsuits alleging unpaid luxury debts, though his lawyer rejects these claims.
Yeah, so he's claiming this is all whatever, and it's just normal business dealings. But it's hard to believe that you have all of these things coming together, and you just have. Now he's not poor, but obviously there's things going on where you're not paying bills and you're embroiled in these lawsuits. I'm sure there's a difference between being Floyd Mayweather broke and actual broke. But he clearly is not doing as well as he would make it out to be. But he's still on social media all the time buying $1 million watches and $1 million cars. And he is keeping this up because it's his persona.
Yeah, there's a guy named, is it Ish Smith?
Yes.
You know him?
I'm familiar with him, yes.
He's a fighter?
Yes.
He fights under Mayweather Promotions. He said, read in between the lines. People don't come out of retirement for the love of the game at damn near 50.
Yeah.
That's not how boxing works.
No, it is if you...
Man's tricked all that money off and needs to come back.
He's been piecing, he does all these exhibition fights and he keeps making money off of it, but I believe the Pacquiao one is not an exhibition fight. I believe it's an actual sanctioned bout.
Oh.
The Tyson one is, he does this, he fought like a Korean wrestler or something, and he does all he fought one of the Paul brothers. So he's found this kind of unique way of making money without really putting himself on the line. But this is with Pacquiao. This is a real fight. And Pacquiao, by the way, is still fighting. His old ass keeps in there. So this one actually, Mayweather could actually get hurt in this. Whereas this other crap is exhibition stuff. But certainly seems like Floyd may need some money. And, if he blew through $1 billion and he's suing his former partner for a couple $100 million, this is the tale as old as time. This happens. Tyson went broke. There's so many boxers that this happens to. So many fighters in general.
It's crazy that you could earn $1 billion and be 50 and not have a dime.
Well,
it's like you say, he's got money. He has a few dimes. But.
Yes. But it's one of those things where if you have millions upon millions in assets and cash and whatnot, but you also owe millions and millions and millions. If you were this rich, you'd be paying these things off. You wouldn't. Antonio Brown was like this, right? He's like, oh, I've got plenty of money. Then why are you stiffing someone on $100,000 bill and having it go to court? You would just pay it. So, but you think about that. I mean, this is the old adage. Let's say he made $1 billion. No, he didn't. He made $500 million.
Yeah.
So
the IRS wants its share.
How much was the IRS back taxes on that? 30?
Well, that said 28 million.
28
but
million.
I'm sure there's far more than that.
Right. So you didn't make $500 million. You made $500 million. And my God, that guy spent more than any other human being in sports that I've ever seen. And a lot of those assets are probably depreciating. When you buy a $1.2 million car, that's not. I'm guessing it's not $1.2 million for long.
One other follow-up I got to get to before we get to the club. You were saying that Magic City Night in Atlanta would not happen. You made that prediction.
Yes.
And Magic City is the strip club they are honoring on this coming Monday.
Yeah, just seemed like that might be one that someone rethinks.
And they're honoring it at the Hawks game because they have great wings at Magic City Strip Club.
Yeah.
And so they're just doing wings. It's not like strippers are going to be there.
Yeah.
And Luke Cornett, who plays for the Hawks, came out and said that you should not host Magic City Night because it sends a bad message to women. So I thought of you when I saw that. I was like, Sook's right. They're going to get some heat, and they're going to cancel this thing. Nay.
Pushing right through?
Nay. They don't care.
Huh.
They said, we're going to still go ahead and do Magic City Night. There are no strippers that will be there.
That's still bizarre to me that an NBA league that's trying to be – the NBA tried to get away from the Iverson kind of – I don't know, whatever you want to call that. That culture, I don't know, they wanted it to be more family friendly, and I'm surprised that they are. The NBA is cool with a stripper night. That's just bizarre.
Yeah, he wrote, the NBA should desire to protect and esteem women, many of whom work diligently every day to make this the best basketball league in the world. We should promote an atmosphere that is protective and respectful of the daughters, wives, sisters, mothers, and partners that we know and love. Allowing this night to go forward without protest would reflect poorly on us as an NBA community. Regardless of how a woman finds her way into the adult entertainment industry, many in this space experience abuse, harassment, and violence to which they should never be subjected. I'd like to encourage the league, its owners, employees, and fans to hold the Atlanta Hawks to a higher standard of what they find worthy of promoting.
Well, it's just, we have a lot of strip clubs here, and look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. You can catch me on a Friday night sometimes. Like, I'll swing by, see what's up. Go in, rattle some ice at one of our local establishments. But can you imagine going to Moda Center and having it be Mary's night?
I can't.
I'm juiced up.
We've already talked about this. I would be juiced up for that.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
Most people would not.
Well, don't go.
I just don't think that seems like a weird thing to have at an NBA game or any professional sport for that matter.
And so you said you've been to Magic City.
Yes.
And it's a culture thing in Atlanta.
Yes, it is.
Like it's more than just a strip club, I imagine. Like it's kind of a whole
community.
Thing. But I agree. I kind of agree. Luke Cornett probably shouldn't be doing this, but at the same time, I'm not from Atlanta. I think people from Atlanta have embraced the entire thing.
They have. Tell you what, you go to Magic City once, you won't forget it.
I think
it's an eye-opener.
We should stop stripper shaming.
Oh, I'm not stripper shaming.
They're people too. No, women are sluts. See?
That's
right.
That according to Isaac Robb.
That's right.
Just seems like a weird place. Like I know the Pickles, they have a stripper night. Can you grab yours?
There you go.
To really,
so what's wrong with that?
I think there's a little different between the independent league baseball team and the NBA.
Did you just wink at me?
No, all right. Portland.
I don't.
Portland,
I bet the same
Mary's
number
Club.
of people will be at the game. Nobody goes to Hawks games.
Is it possible that's the key here? And you're right. Atlanta does seem to embrace Magic City like no other. That's
weird, isn't it?
Well, it's just
Well, we do it. We do it to some degree.
To some extent. Ours would be the Acropolis or Mary's.
I mean, strip clubs here are widely accepted. It's not like they're like, dude, go to I'm from the Midwest. Go to some of the Bible Belt areas and see how they talk about strip clubs.
Yeah.
I mean, Lou Williams left the bubble to go to a funeral and then decided I need to stop by Magic City to get the wings.
Yeah.
Like that's.
But can we also stop with the idea that that Lou Williams cares about women empowerment or wings? Like, all I ask for is a little bit of intellectual.
How do you know?
Yeah, I go. That's the people that go to Hooters and Twin Peaks for the wings too. Like,
I like to keep it spicy, man.
a touch of honesty. Having been to Magic City, that's the focus there was not on women empowerment and wings. It was not.
Well, maybe this will help people focus on those two things.
Well, you can have
certainly the wings.
You can have some conversations with the young ones.
Spit on that thing.
You know?
Yeah. We're going to start them at age 8 and groom them. Oh, boy. That's worked out well the last 2 segments. That's not
James
good.
Harden immediately requested trade to Atlanta. I will say that no other league embraces the strip clubs quite like the NBA.
Right.
They love it.
It's part of their culture.
It is part of it. Yeah.
And I think we should stop making them seem like terrible places.
Instead, I just dropped $80 at Union Jacks on
There
Saturday.
you
Great
go.
investment.
$80 he put into the coffers out there. All right, we have a new Tiger King, at least I think.
I can't wait. I don't even know. I have no idea what this is.
Yeah, I think it's the new Tiger King.
Okay.
I was second guessing myself there, but I'm gonna push through. We're fighting through this.
All right, let's do it.
I watched the 3rd episode last night, and because the Tiger King's not good.
No, it's terrible.
Neither is this.
It was a moment in time. COVID helped the rise of the Tiger King.
All right, so we'll get to that coming up next to kick off the club on the Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be cutting quarterback Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins. Barring a trade, Murray was already guaranteed just under $37 million for next season and was set to be making another guarantee of $19.5 million for 2027 if he was still on the roster on March 16th, but he will not be. He will be a free agent. And the Indianapolis Colts, they're using the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market. Now, if Jones does not sign an offer sheet, he would earn a one-year guarantee salary of $37.8 million and be on the Colts. A couple notable players in the NFL that were not franchise tagged and will now become free agents. Super Bowl MVP running back Kenneth Walker III, Jaguars running back Travis Etienne, Colts wide receiver Alec Pierce, and Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson. Atlanta Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar, he tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug again. This follows an 80-game ban last season, just 4 games into 2025. Profar signed a 3-year, $42 million in 2025, played 4 games last year, and will miss the entire 2026 season. The World Baseball Classic starts tomorrow. USA will start on Friday. Manager Mark DeRosa has announced his rotation for pool play. Logan Webb, he's going to start on Friday. Tarek Skubal on Saturday. Paul Skeens on Monday. And Nolan McLean on next Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of
I like to keep it spicy, man.
Goes to the ways and means of a committee.
Did you just wink at me? We're going to start them at age 8 and groom them.
Nah.
I'm juiced up.
Okay, we apologize.
It's time for the club, baby.
Come on,
On
dude.
105.1 and 1080. The Fan.
They're actually
We.
Yeah, so I was mentioning that I believe we might have a new Tiger King on our hands.
And isn't that what we've all been asking for? Is a new Joe Exotic?
Well, that show was terrible, but you're right. You know, during COVID, it brought us all together.
It did.
We were all watching
It was
it.
that and the Jordan thing.
So this probably won't have that type of
He's still in prison, right?
appeal. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's tried to get Trump to pardon him, but even Trump won't do that. So that tells you something.
Is he in jail for like ever? Is he?
Oh, I don't know about that. You could probably look it up. Do you have a computer over there?
22 years in prison.
22.
Yeah. So he.
Poor old fella.
Yeah, he's gonna be there a while. Although most of those people, like, you get out and usually like half of that, right?
So have you watched Neighbors on HBO?
Is that the one with? No, Friends and Neighbors is the one on Apple with John Hamm, which is amazing.
Okay. No, this is a documentary.
Neighbors.
So
No,
it's,
I have
it's
not
like
seen this.
it's like Tiger King,
Okay.
but it's split into. I don't remember how Tiger King aired. Maybe it was different episodes. I think
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, this is different episodes, and they're all separate of one another. And it's basically they just have cameras following pretty much petty neighbor disputes.
Okay. Is there
Dude,
any other kind of dispute?
it is wild.
I mean, every neighbor dispute is petty, and then it escalates into violence.
Well, it's unbelievable what these escalate into.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll just read you the synopsis. So it's on HBO Max. Okay, it's called Neighbors.
Okay.
That just started this year. There's only 3 episodes out, and I think there's only 5 in the series. And let me just first preface this by saying it's not a great show in a sense that, like, they don't really dig into what who's right.
Sure.
Although some of them go to court and they do show some of that.
It's more of here's a dumb conflict, and oh my God,
Yes.
this is what it turned into.
We want you to see these two psychotic people going at each other over a patch of grass.
Okay.
That's really what it is.
Sure.
But
your fence is too tall.
It is,
you know.
To me, I just can't believe people are like this, but they are. So episode 1 is Shoreline Defender. A heated debate amongst beachgoers and private homeowners emerges on the Santa Rosa Beach shoreline in Florida. In rural Montana, Seth takes issue with a gate placed by his new neighbor Josh, who insists he's within his legal rights to do so. Now that one's interesting because you kind of see both sides. Like sometimes you can see both sides and you're like, I wonder who's going to win in court here.
Yeah.
That one was
a gate?
Yeah, so they live in a very rural area.
Is one gate blocking the other guy?
One gate is blocking a road that is not. It's not his, but it's his. It's just watch.
All right.
Okay, and then the second one is called The Farm, and this one, these people in Indiana, Daryl's retirement bliss is thrown, and Daryl is really something.
Yeah.
He's this little gay old man that just he cannot handle his neighbor who is totally trying to poke him. I mean, I don't mean like...
Yeah. He's poking the bear.
Yeah. It says, Indiana, Daryl's retirement bliss is thrown into disarray when Trevor starts raising livestock on his grandmother's property. Then in Philadelphia, Gene's penchant for taking in dozens of stray cats encroaches on Maurice's family life. Okay, so that one was... The farm part of that one will blow your mind.
Sure.
And then the third one I just watched last night. It's called Patch of Grass, and it's again in Florida. And these people they're insane.
Yeah.
And they are. It's former friends, Melissa and Victoria. They live right next to each other, and they are fighting over a small patch of grass between their homes, and it is wild.
None of that.
What these people will do.
None of that surprises me. I saw something.
So it's kind of like Tiger King.
Yeah.
In that, it's not good. But you can't take your eyes off of it.
Well, it's because it's trashy people doing trashy things, and people are fascinated by that.
Well, they are, and there's also these disputes that are kind of like,
you
okay,
can see yourself.
I see what she's saying,
Yeah.
But then they escalate it, like there's guns and like stalking charges. It's wild.
I'll look it up. I think it was like in Wisconsin. It was in Wisconsin or Minnesota someplace. I saw this a couple years ago, but I don't know why it came across my feed, a few months ago.
Ooh, TGL.
Ooh.
Just started.
All right.
Yeah.
It's the most, and it's all on video. Now with Ring camera, it is shocking. There were two neighbors, and they were having a dispute over clearing the sidewalk, right? When they you do a snow blower, someone was blowing snow, and someone didn't like where they were blowing it. And these two people are yelling at this guy. They're yelling, and this all on camera. They're yelling at the neighbor. Like, what are you going to do about it? F you, blah, blah, blah. They're screaming, and other neighbors are telling them to shut up because it's early in the morning. The neighbor goes back inside, comes out, and the one neighbor goes, what are you going to do, shoot me? Yeah. He pulls out his gun, shoots the husband. The wife starts yelling and starts swearing at him that he shot the husband. Guess what he does? Shoots her. And he walks over, and the last words that they both heard were, you can hear it clear as day, you should have kept your effing mouth shut. Goes over, shoots him point blank, and walks back into his house. And the other neighbors are outside all on video because of a snowblower. Guess they've been fighting all winter about where the snow was getting removed. That's this sort of stuff.
Dude, these people, it's just, they're psychos.
Yes.
And they all live next to each other.
God.
That's
the terrifying part.
That's
right?
the formula right there.
Yeah.
Two psychos living next to each other, they're going to find a way to have a psycho off.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it's about. The other one on Patch of Grass is in Palm Bay. Yeah. It's in Florida as well.
Yeah.
And these two dudes, there's a former... one of the guys is a former military guy. He's a veteran, and he seems crazier than the ex-stripper. He's an ex-male stripper, and they're threatening to kill each other. It's wild. You should watch it. It's called Neighbors on HBO.
There is no dispute that a neighbor could have that would be that's insignificant enough for me to think that it would never turn into something major. When you get people living in close proximity that don't like each other, dude, I don't know what it is about humans, but the idea of my house, my property, I can do whatever I want, F you, and I'm right, you're wrong, and that every day seeing someone, I think it drives people nuts. I really do.
Yeah, I think the right-wrong thing is it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these things, there isn't a clear answer.
Yeah, it's just...
And so everyone digs in.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm right about this is important to me.
Yeah.
And I'm right about this.
Yeah.
And I will stop at nothing to prove that.
Well...
even if I have to kill you.
I wish I could... I wonder if that guy would give me this video. So, you remember, this was like a year ago, I told a story about how I put the dog poop in a bag in someone's trash can.
And they came charging
out.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
Yeah, these two hippies. Yeah. And they've got the pride flag out in front.
They don't want your poop.
Yeah, the F Trump and all that. And so we calmed that all down and we're like, hey, we're good, right? Like, everyone take a deep breath. No reason to yell and scream. Well, I was out in front of their house, and one of their neighbors came walking by and started talking to me, and they ran outside because they thought we were talking S about him. So she started screaming, and I was like, oh my God, what is happening here? And the guy goes, you don't know the half of it. So there's a guy that lives about two or three houses down, and he's a Trumper. He's got a Trump sign up on his garage, and you know, he's a little old retired veteran guy. He wears his Air Force hat.
America, yeah!
He's a very nice guy. And I talk to him from time to time. He knows I'm not a Trump guy, but I think he's a very nice old man. And when I asked him that, I said, oh my God, you know these people too? And he goes, do I know him? And he takes out his phone, and after 20 minutes of figuring out how his phone works, which was kind of adorable, he started showing me videos that he records because he walks his little dog. He's got a little pug. And whenever he walks by their house, they come outside and like attack him verbally. And he has videos. He's got like a series of them. And the things that come out of their mouth towards him are shocking. Like the most evil.
Like, say it on the radio.
Just, they wish him death.
Ooh.
It is just nasty. You're still an idiotic, a moron. It is so bad. And I'm like, what? And it's all because he has his Trump sign up. And so I asked the guy, I said, well, God, do you just walk the other way? And he's like, oh no. He goes, I'm not hiding. So I think he kind of now walks by their house, and they hate when your dog goes on their lawn or whatever. I think he does it to poke them.
Yeah.
I think he walks by their house purposely and has his dog on the lawn.
This is how it starts.
And I tried to tell him, I said, dude, you should kind of be careful, because that stuff on that he has on tape is really unhinged. And he's like, what are they going to do? And, he's like, damn liberals. And I'm like, man. And so
that's right, damn libs.
They do. They live like 3 doors down from each other. And I think about that every time I walk by those two homes. It's not going to take much one day, and they've been going at this for several years now. It's not going to take much for that to light a spark. It really, really isn't.
So that show's called Neighbors. It's on HBO Max if you have it. There's only 3 episodes out, and I think there's only 5 in the whole series.
They should come by my neighborhood and film the
I don't know how they find these.
The Trump guy. Well, maybe I'm going to write in and be like, hey, if you're looking for the next one, get on down to Vancouver, because that is a situation that is going to boil over at some point.
Yeah, it's highly entertaining.
Yeah.
Terrible show, but highly entertaining.
I can see where you can't
look away.
Dude, I watched that guy's videos. I sat there for probably 20 minutes. And it was all the same stuff, but I couldn't look away, because you can't imagine a rational human being. Like, you're like, right. There's no way people could be like this. And you're like, no, it
there's
can't.
No way these people could be acting this way, and yet they make it worse. Then just wait 5 minutes, and it's even worse.
Yeah.
And they pull out a gun.
Yeah.
Dude, it's...
Well, I'm
something else.
I don't know who I'm worried more for. I kind of think maybe the Trump guy might be, he's an old veteran guy. I wonder if maybe he's packing heat. I don't know. I just, one of these days, those two, mark my words, we are going to be doing an In the News segment at some point, and someone is going to get seriously hurt or die, and we're going to be like, yeah, we predicted it.
But you'll be the on-field reporter. Like, you'll have the...
100. If you told me that someone down there eventually gets shot in that confrontation, I'm gonna be like, yeah,
our noted newsman can go straight to the source. Jason Sakanik.
We do breaking news into the Fan Sports Radio Network.
I wonder if he got me that video, he would. We should bleep it and share it because you would be. It's quite frankly, I was kind of impressed at the stringing together. I don't know if I've heard swear words quite like that used. The lady works a tapestry of vulgarity, which was kind of impressive. But hey, tolerance.
Well, if you have neighbor disputes, you should text them in, but just keep them short.
Yeah.
I've never really had anything like that because I'm not a psycho.
Yeah.
I've had some bad neighbors, but
well, if you have a bad neighbor, you realize it's a bad neighbor, and then just go quiet. You just walk away. You're like, cool.
Well, I just shot this guy, but you know,
well, fun and games until it does.
He's buried somewhere in Southwest Portland. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm rooting for the little old man. He's way nicer than the psycho Berkeley couple.
Are you raising your voice at me?
Okay, this woman, she is famous. She was on a date with Brad Pitt, but she left him mid-date for this guy.
You left Brad Pitt?
Yeah, and you know the guy she left. You know all the parties involved in this. I read this today, and I need to bring it to your attention. Okay.
I'm intrigued.
I'm going to let you guess. What guy could steal a girl from Brad Pitt mid-date? Pretty special dude, right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm pulling that one off.
I don't think you are either.
No.
This guy did. That's next on The Fan.
View from here.
What?
Yeah, we're talking about neighbor disputes, and there's a new show called Neighbors on HBO that's oddly entertaining between psychotic neighbors and their little petty squabbles. A couple of texts. I know a guy in the Gorge that just lit his neighbor's barn on fire because of a dispute. His neighbor just happens to be a sheriff's deputy.
Oh my God.
That from JR.
You decided to light a deputy's barn on. How do you think that's going to go? It's
going to go up in flames.
It's just a blind rage. You imagine being so angry you're like, F this. I'm going to light it on fire.
Murder-suicide attempt over some infidelity happened in my Vancouver neighborhood. This was 2019. Guy was a grouch. Neighbor stole his ex-wife. He retaliated. Yikes. God. Politics. Is there anything we can control less that we choose to let ruin our lives and relationships?
Yeah. All because that guy just he's got a sign up on his house. Well, I guess so do the other people too.
I would imagine
it's dueling signs.
I would imagine the show Neighbors does not want to cover that.
Probably
but I am guessing over these last handful of years, some of that exact dispute, the MAGA signs or the Trump flags or the whatever, I bet you there have been some doozies over that kind of stuff.
Well, it's funny.
I also have another, real quick, I have another dispute coming from former Primetime producer Ryan Buckley.
And this is a pretty good one.
He is listening.
The pettiness of this story is phenomenal.
Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Go ahead.
And it makes me sad.
One of the videos that the little old man showed me, the Trump guy, I also talked about. This was during Trump's first run. There was a guy in my neighborhood that had the Trump flags, and I posted a photo of it years ago. He had a long driveway, and it was lined with them. I think he had like maybe 10 or 12, and he had the Go Brandon, the Trump, the gun flag. Like there has never been a greater stay out driveway than this guy's driveway, and it was pretty alarming. Every time I'd walk by it, I was like, Jesus. Like, note to self, not going down that driveway. And he left. He ended up selling his house, and that guy's gone. In one of the videos that the old man has, Berkeley lady is taking credit for running that guy out of the neighborhood.
Really?
Yes. She goes, just so you know, I'm going to do to you what I did to your, bleepity bleep neighbor and all his bleepity bleep flags. I ran him out. He was so terrified of me, which I'm sure is a total lie. I don't think that guy was afraid of anybody.
Yeah.
But I was laughing because when I saw that video, I was like, I know that house.
Huh.
And that lady is taking responsibility.
So one of the old hippie libs got him out of there?
According to this lady, she claims that she claims that she harassed him every day to the point where he had to leave.
That doesn't surprise me, and that may be true.
It's possible.
Because I tell you what, that crew, like the old hippie, see, because he's playing a road game.
Yeah.
In that instance.
Yeah.
He lives in, I mean, he's not in Portland, but it's Portland adjacent,
yes.
And you got enough hippies like that.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you, that group, and they're particularly vocal when they're women.
Yeah.
They are not to be, dude. They will own you.
Well, she claims responsibility for driving him out and claims that he's next. And I will tell you what,
like they don't stop.
Well,
these are the people that hang from the bridge in a kayak to stop the pipeline. Dude, they do not mess with them. They do not have an off switch.
Well, I'll tell you what. That old vet guy, he's lived in that neighborhood forever, and he ain't going anywhere. That guy's dug in like an Alabama tick. So apparently, super flag guy, he lost the battle, but I don't know. I don't know if you're scaring away this old Army vet, but just the fact that they live so close to one another, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, kind of terrifying. Because I think anything could happen.
That's right. That's what I said. Like, if you get two psychos that live in close proximity to one another, they're going to find a way to psycho off.
Yes.
It will happen.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what it's over.
Yeah. And what eventually is the thing that triggers it. Something tells me his little pug is like, I think that's his whole world. If something happens to that pug, buckle up.
We got a war.
That may be the straw. Like if something mysteriously happens to that pug while he's gone, something tells me he may I know who to blame for this. And now we've got the news involved. But yeah, tell Buckley's story. I kind of enjoyed the Ryan Buckley escalation.
Buck is listening, although he's probably watching TGL now. We've got a big Bay Club versus Jupiter.
Hey, Tiger's in the house.
Yeah, because the loser goes home. Loser doesn't get in the playoffs tonight.
We know who we're rooting for.
He said, my dad witnessed a neighbor feud. One guy was into drag racing and had this gigantic trailer that his neighbors hated because it was such an eyesore. The aggrieved wanted them to build a fence to hide it since it was bigger than an RV and bright turquoise. When the car guy would not build the fence, the angry neighbor bought donkeys who make the most heinous braying noises all day and put them in the portion of the yard directly next to car guy's fence. They start raising audible hell every morning around sunrise as punishment for not building the fence.
The idea that you would go and buy donkeys, I love that level of
that's great
commitment and pettiness. I would also like to point out that for some reason Jason Kelsey is in a shirtless Hawaiian shirt on the green.
Sleeveless. I don't know what a shirtless shirt is.
He is a sleeveless Hawaiian shirt at the TGL event.
He dwarfs Tiger. He makes Tiger look small. Tiger's not small.
No, but Jason Kelsey is a large individual. I don't know why why is he wearing slacks?
Look, they got to get ratings.
With a Hawaiian shirt, and why are the sleeves...
And it's tucked in.
Yeah,
What a mess.
It's certainly a look. But yes, he does make Tiger look like a tiny little man.
And here's another one. Live next door to the wife's parents that we bought from them. Pisses me off one day to try to screw me on the price of a lawnmower that I fixed and paid for the parts, so I cut down his favorite plum tree. God.
You're cutting down. Just sometimes you just walk away. You don't have to cut down his favorite plum tree.
All right, I'll get to this Brad Pitt story coming up next.
Yeah.
I want to read this to you. I saw this today, and I can't believe it.
Can you?
It's from a memoir
Oh, all right.
of a famous woman.
I'm intrigued.
She's telling sordid tales.
I do like when people spill the dirt on these sorts of things. Yeah.
So we will get to that next. But first, Stephen with SportsCenter.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, ESPN's Adam Schefter is reporting that the Arizona Cardinals are going to be cutting quarterback Kyler Murray next Wednesday when the new league year begins. Barring a trade, Murray was already guaranteed $36.8 million for 2026 and was set to be guaranteed another $19.5 million for 2027 if he was still on the roster by March 16th, but he will not be. Indianapolis Colts, they're using the transition tag on quarterback Daniel Jones. That means the Colts are able to match any contract Jones gets on the free agent market, and if Jones does not sign a competing offer sheet, he will earn a one-year guaranteed salary of $37.8 million. A couple notable players in the NFL who were not franchise tagged and will now become free agents. Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III, Jaguars running back Travis Etienne, Colts receiver Alec Pierce, and Bengals pass rusher Trey Hendrickson all set to hit the free agent market. Braves outfielder Jurickson Profar, he tested positive for a performance-enhancing drug again. This follows an 80-game ban just 4 games into 2025 for the same exact reason. Profar signed a 3-year, $42 million a year deal in 2025, played 4 games last year, and will miss the entire 2026 season. World Baseball Classic begins tomorrow, but USA will start their pool play on Friday. Manager Mark DeRosa announced he has set the rotation. Logan Webb on Friday, Tarek Skubal on Saturday, Paul Skeens on Monday, and Nolan McLean on Tuesday. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Stephen Vaughn from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of
So this story comes to us from the new memoir of Christina Applegate.
Oh, boy, I loved her.
Yeah, she
Well,
was
I
great.
still do. I think she's got what? She's got like MS now.
Really?
Yeah, she's in a real bad way.
I didn't know that.
She's on a bunch of steroids now, so she's all. I think it's MS. So she's all bloated and has a hard time getting around. Yeah, she's had to retire, I think, because of it.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well,
But
she's written a memoir.
Yeah, she was greatness though.
And she divulged that she once left Brad Pitt for this guy mid-date.
That tells you something how hot Kelly Bundy was back in the day.
That's true.
Well, it might be at the time. What year was this?
This was 1989.
She was probably a bigger star than Brad Pitt was.
She did say that in here.
Yeah.
So this was at the VMAs in 1989. She said, I had spent all night staring at this guy. I'm not going to tell you who he is, and I'm going to make you guess.
Okay.
Because you're never going to guess who it is. But I'm going to make you do it anyway. And we're going to sit here all night until you figure it out. I had spent all night staring at this guy. I hate to put it like this, but Brad back then was still making his way as an actor, and he wasn't yet the Brad Pitt, the man of so many people's dreams. And it gets worse. Brad was left to sullenly drive my mom home. They were at the VMAs. Apparently, at a gas station on the way, Brad almost got into a fight with a bunch of gang members and, not surprisingly, was subsequently very mad at me. Applegate said she regretted the decision as soon as she found out that the guy she left Brad for had a long-term partner and a 1-year-old child. She also said Pitt didn't talk to her for many years. And by the way, just because Brad Pitt wasn't, big-time Brad Pitt yet, he was still like the best-looking guy on the planet.
He might be the best-looking man of all time.
Do you know who the other guy was? Now, this was at the VMAs, the Video Music Awards, which was MTV at the time.
So I'm guessing this is a musician.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a musician.
Yes.
And it's in 89.
1989. The peak of this guy's powers, probably.
Okay, so it's I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Now, is he still a big deal?
No.
Okay. So it's not.
And he's crazy.
So it's not. I was gonna say like Tommy Lee.
No.
And he's crazy. So
yeah. Well, I think he's crazy.
So that wouldn't be like a David Lee Roth or anything like that.
Why wouldn't it be? He's crazy.
Yeah, but you said he's not a big deal. David Lee Roth's still a big deal.
Is he?
Is it David Lee Roth? Did she leave him for David?
No, worse. At least David Lee Roth in 1989 was a big deal. I mean, I guess this guy was at the time, but he's not really.
I could see like a Bret Michaels at the height of Poison.
Dude, it was Sebastian Bach. What? Yes. What? She left a date with Brad Pitt, made handsome Brad Pitt drive her mom home, get in a fight with some hooligans, while she's trying to get in the pants of Sebastian Bach. Little does she know, Bach has a long-term girlfriend and a 1-year-old daughter. Wow. What are we doing?
Boy, are we not giving Sebastian Bach credit for his 1989 hotness?
Well, okay.
Because he looks like absolute hell now. But
that's fair. He was a handsome fella, and he had the long hair, and he was a rock star. But it was Brad Pitt.
Wow. Do you think that's one of those that you regret? Like if you're Christina Applegate, or you just kind of laugh about it, you're like, ah.
No, she regrets it. She said it.
Sebastian Bach. So we do know that she got in, or I guess I should say Sebastian Bach got in her pants.
What an idiot.
How do we know that?
Well, I'm assuming, you're leaving the VMAs, you leave Brad Pitt for Sebastian Bach. I'm guessing the back of the base, Sebastian Bach had probably a pretty good closer rate. I don't know.
Yeah.
When you leave the VMAs with a rock star, I'm guessing that kind of probably seals the deal, does it not?
Somebody said Bach was at the Aladdin here 2 weeks ago.
Doing what?
I don't know. Because wasn't he the one that came out for the... Remember when we were down in Phoenix, Glendale, for the Ducks championship game? And he sang... Because Chip Kelly did a thing with him, right?
I do think
he had that song.
I do think he was there. Yeah.
They had a big concert, and he was terrible.
Yes. Yeah. And he looks just...
Then he put out a song with for Chip Kelly, and he was somehow a Duck fan, and then he showed up to the thing because he was desperate, and they paid him, and it was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, he sang We Are the Ducks.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you, Stephen Vaughn, to look up. Can you get Sebastian Bach singing We Are the Ducks?
And by the way, if you don't know who he is, he was the lead singer of Skid Row.
Yeah.
You'd probably recognize him, but maybe not.
Yeah, they did. 2011, they put out a power ballad.
Yeah, We're the Ducks. And it's... The song is a bit of a jam.
Is it?
I remember. But then when he played it live, like all the Duck fans were there and they're all housed and like ready to... It was really bad. Yeah. Like he couldn't get the crowd going.
Well,
because you don't remember that? We were there.
I do remember that. I'm just saying, like,
he brought out Chip Kelly on stage.
The fact that you thought that Sebastian Bach was going to get the crowd going.
Well,
it's Sebastian Bach.
Well, but he's like, he's a rock star.
No, he was a rock star. Are there any Skid Row fans left, like at all? Like when I'm assuming that he still plays like the casino circuit. Like,
well, it said he was at the Aladdin.
Wow. And I'm guessing Skid Row isn't together anymore. He goes and performs as Sebastian Bach and plays all the great Skid Row hits, which is one of them.
Skid Row not actively touring.
No, shocking. But if Rat tours, I'm assuming that Skid Row can. They had the one, what is it, the I'll Remember You, right?
Skid Row?
Yeah.
Well, I think their big hit was 18 in Life. Do you remember that? And yes, I think I'll Remember You as one.
I'll Remember You. Look, I'll go to my grave, say that's a good song. If you want a crappy power ballad, I Remember You is a good tune. And that guy can hit the can hit the high note.
Now, I did not listen to this fully. I hope there's no cursing in it.
No, I wouldn't.
But this is Sebastian Bach singing the Oregon Ducks power ballad, as it says on YouTube. I think it's called
We Are the Ducks. Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, is this the live version?
So
that's all I could really find.
I don't think they put this out on CD.
It's game day in Eugene, and the kickoff time is set. As the sun rises over the Willamette.
What?
Yellow and green, a quick pit stop for beer at the Steel and Pearl with cheer. Many rivals have come to take on the dogs. It's Memphis is over.
Yes!
We are the dogs from Oregon. We'll fight to the end, and we're here to play to win with the dogs from Oregon.
Yes!
Wow.
What a jam.
Dude.
Good jam.
Where has this been for the last 15 years?
You want to keep going on this, or?
Sure. Let's hear the second verse. Coach Kelly.
Secret spread up its cue cards. Shoulder to shoulder we yell and we sing and we lift up our dogs to victory. Yeah, we love a good challenge, but take it from us. Jump with the dogs.
Yeah, that's right.
That got something out of the crowd.
Yeah, hands swaying.
Shockingly enough, I don't think this was ever used again.
It's got backup vocals. God. Why did he do that?
I don't know. The question is, someone paid him. Someone paid him to do that.
Well, I thought there was some deal where he was like a closet Duck fan and he just did it.
I don't know.
Anyway, he was at the Aladdin apparently last night.
Was he singing this?
I don't know.
You better have.
You have to. You come to Oregon.
I like when he worked in the secret spread offense with the cue cards, and he threw out the great Willamette. Oh my God.
Yeah, I remember that way differently.
That's a jam. God. College football is a hell of a thing.
Well, it was a big deal at the time.
Was
Was
it?
it? Yeah.
I don't think
No, it was. They brought him to the.
I
Dude.
understand, but
What game was that? Who were they playing? Was that the
that was,
Auburn game?
That was 2011. So
This
that
was 15 years ago.
Yeah, so that was,
So it was the Auburn
it was
game.
the Auburn game.
Was that in Glendale?
Yeah, I think
It
that was in
was,
Arizona.
yeah, 'cause
because
we
the
went
other one was in Texas. I
Dallas,
think.
yeah. That
when
was
they played
Ohio State.
Ohio State.
So, yeah, we were at the event. It was this huge deal.
Yeah, I remember.
It was
It was
the
like
Ducks rally
it
the
was a
night
big-
before
yeah,
the game,
tailgate kind of thing.
and we were there, and there were thousands of Duck fans there. And the big draw, the end of the thing, was Sebastian Bach is going to come out and sing "We Are the Ducks,"
Ew.
and he did, and it was god awful. And Chip Kelly was out there waving, but didn't really say anything, or I think he did, but you couldn't really hear him. It was a mess.
Shocking.
And they lost.
I think that's where that's from. I'm pretty sure that's the live performance where we were at.
No, that was way better. Trust me.
No, there's live performances on here. I don't know that.
You might be able to get the actual performance from Glendale.
Yeah, it was this says the BCS Oregon Pep Rally.
That's where that was?
No, this video. I
Okay,
just
so
pulled
yeah,
up.
check this out, dude. This is so
Yeah,
bad.
this is some guy.
Let's go, Ducks.
Hold on.
Hey, let's practice. Don't.
Whoa!
Whoop,
Whoa!
whoop, whoop. Can't
No,
do that.
Can't play that
Dump.
We can't play that.
Dump that
I don't
one.
remember that part.
Yeah. And someone is correct. There's only one thing that needs to happen. The text program is right. There's only one natural course of action here, and that is Joey Harrington needs to sing. This we need Joey to cut.
We Are the Ducks.
A new version of We Are the Ducks. We have to have it now. Why this isn't played at home games is beyond me.
Christina Applegate's judgment.
Yeah.
You know?
Sebastian
That
Bach.
guy.
What if Brad Pitt still sees her as like, really?
I guarantee you he does.
That guy? That guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Him, me. All right, cool.
And by the way, here's somebody else who nominates Youth Gone Wild. That was a good tune, Skid Row. Skid Row was all right.
They have one song, and that's I'll Remember You. And of course,
18 in Life was a jam.
the Ducks.
But
And the Duck song.
What?
And the Duck
Yeah,
song.
they were actually pretty big, Skid Row.
Yeah, for
In the
a
80s.
brief moment. Them and White Snake.
Okay, we got to wrap it up. We'll do that next on The Fan. Well, I just met the elusive Brandon, and the listeners don't know Brandon.
The elusive Brandon. Oh, BYU Brandon?
Yeah. I only met him for the first time moments ago outside the studio here.
So
now,
he is alive.
The reason I'm telling you this, because the listeners are like, who's, what?
Yeah.
Well, he's one of the youngs here at the station, and we had the awkward, I swear I'm right about this.
Mm-hmm. Which means you're wrong, but all right.
I have never met him.
Okay.
I have not met him. I've heard about him,
Yeah.
not met him. But we had the awkward where I say, nice to meet you, and he's like, oh, good to see you.
Yeah.
Like
That's
insinuating that we've already met.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't want to, I've never met him. Handsome, congenial young fella. And what I heard from him was that when Steven is out on Friday,
Yeah.
we are getting the Brandon debut
Ah,
on our show.
interesting.
He will be in here
Yes.
doing our show on Friday. So we are going to have another new producer on Friday. And he seems like a nice young lad.
I'm done for it already. I'm out.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
Steven's gone.
I've had enough.
Oh, dear.
He's out. BYU Brandon, because
Yeah.
we have to differentiate him from Brandon Sprague. We already have a Brandon.
Right. So he went to BYU?
Yeah. We can
Yeah.
call him Black Brandon, but then that could get weird.
Well, he seems, is he black?
He's black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dusty.
Is he Mormon?
Yes. Yeah. See, I think it was once someone once when they told me there was a BYU guy here, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they had to follow it up with he's black, and I'm like, what does that matter? And then it made them very uncomfortable because I was like, you're the one that brought it up, not me. And then I called them Black BYU Brandon, and that made them very uncomfortable. So
Well,
maybe we just go with Brandon.
It doesn't matter per
No.
se, but it is unusual. You know, it's not what we expected.
When you hear young BYU kid, you expect
the blonde hair,
Yes.
blue eyed,
Yes.
little dorky,
no
undersexed youth.
No, I think he's married. He's got a kid.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think he's a good
Well, he
old-
better be married if he has a kid.
That's true.
I'll tell you that.
Yeah. BYU Brandon
Well,
coming to the
Joseph
show
Smith
on
won't
Friday.
like that.
I think he's long dead.
Mm.
Mormon Jesus, though.
My God. I tell you what, you say BYU's melting down, so is Kansas.
Dude, we're getting our ass handed to us by Cincinnati.
Brutal,
right
dude.
now.
Which is worse, us losing to Arizona State or you losing to Cincinnati?
Well, you guys, because you guys are actually good.
Oh, God. Hey, coming up next, Timbers fan with Patrick Harris. Stay tuned. We're back tomorrow, 3 to 7 at the Fan. Good night.
Friendships of Spain.